Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live right here on Think Critical YouTube. Your Saturday morning delight is back with the world of pop cultures and certainly comic books and all that good stuff. We've got some great people already in the chats. Jamal Simmons, you seem like a great guy. Chiefs fan, love to see that. And we've got a fantastic panel. Now, I had an earthquake. A lot of people probably heard about that one. There was an enormous earthquake here in the Philippines. I felt it. And then a couple of hours later, we lost some power. But for the most part, we didn't get too affected over here. So I do appreciate all the thoughts and prayers and well wishes that were out there. And we've got a special guest returning to the channel, Jesse Blaze Snyder, the voice of commercials, musician, reality TV star, comic book writer. And what else do you do? You do everything?
I do the splits.
Master of the splits.
The parallel bars. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you been, Jesse?
I've been good, man. It's really just been a whirlwind getting a whole bunch of different Kickstarters to start. So I finally have done that, and I feel like accomplished. Pat myself on the back.
How many Kickstarters do you have? Because I've only got a link to one.
Well, this is we've got this Healing Sound Frequencies album thing that's running right now. But this is kind of just raising capital for a anthology magazine that we're working on. And that includes Aaron, my buddy Digger Mesh, and a lot of really great artists like Steve Kurth. And I need to get covers for our magazine because we need like 8 of them. And I'm trying to get some, I've got some names. So this campaign is raising capital for the next campaign for the Anthology Comics magazine. So if you support this campaign, you'll be supporting comics.
What is this campaign? It's you doing music, but at certain frequencies?
Yeah, it's all healing frequencies. So like if you go to a sound healer and you get somebody with those tuning forks, all the tuning forks are in what's called the solfeggio frequencies. There's 9 of them. I made an album that opens in 432 and closes in 432 and goes through all of the healing frequencies in the middle, but it's not chanting. It's like modern music. It's the type of stuff you'd listen to.
Not Enya?
No. It's just blues, rock, soul, pop. I made it for myself, actually, because I'd always wanted that. And at a certain point in time, I was sharing it and I had a couple people tell me, like, you should really put this out. So, I put it out, but people didn't really seem to understand what it was. So there were some fans of mine who were asking me to make something physical. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to make the healing record because I want to talk about it. It's like all modern music should be tuned in 432 frequency. Like the numbers alone, even if you're an atheist, like the numbers of significance are significant and interesting. And, I think that there's enough tests to now prove that 432 and these other frequencies, they calm us down. They lower our heart rates. They really chill us out. Imagine if every time you got in an elevator or watched a movie or put on the radio, you were getting calmed down by the frequencies that all the music was recorded in. It's really like an important change that we could make tomorrow. And for some reason, we've never made it. And I've known about this since I was a teenager. I'm 43 now. So this was like finally able to do this. And I just really wanted to share it with everybody.
So if you did Pantera at your frequency range, it would calm me down instead of getting me amped up and, wanting to go bang my head?
Yeah, although funnily enough, a lot of heavy metal is drop D tuning. When you do drop D, what you're actually trying to do is get to 432 frequency. It's like kind of the closest way to get there. When you're tuned to 440, if you do drop D tuning, it will bring you close to 432. So oftentimes a lot of metal music tuned to drop D, it is chilling us out. And there is a lot of science to say that rock music actually calms people down. So it's an interesting conversation to have. But yeah, all music could be literally just, you'd be hearing it going, I don't know, something about this making me feel good. It's that simple.
Man, I want some You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog. You know what I'm saying?
We could retune everything. We could go back. We could retune the Beatles. We could retune Led Zeppelin. Like
we don't need to do the Beatles. They suck.
But I mean, like any type of music that anybody likes, we could go retune everything and like not have to re-record everything. Now with AI and whatnot, we could literally just like change the whole landscape. And especially because we're out here absorbing Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and 3G, 4G, 5G. Those frequencies are terrible for us. And they've been shown to be in various tests. But to counteract that with some balanced frequencies, some harmonic frequencies that'll literally like give us a little massage. Like, it's really awesome, and it needs to be done. So for me, that's like the main point of the whole campaign, other than raising capital for these comics. Like, I just want to talk about frequency because it's a very simple thing that we could change, and we could make the world a better place.
I could go for a mental massage.
It's probably the amount of talk we're going to do about frequencies because we're comic book guys.
Oh, that's
what
cool.
The channel is at the bottom. So who's got all this static? Is that you, Aaron?
I'm hearing it.
Let me see.
Yes. Aaron had a tremendous amount of static. So, Jesse, when I read comic books, if I read a comic book with a really good song or even a really good album, that album will become the soundtrack for the comic book. And when I hear the song, I'll think about the comic book. Do you do the same thing?
Well, yeah, I do that, but also I have like some of my friends, they were some of the people who made the soundtracks for comics. If you remember back in the day, Alex Ross had a soundtrack to the Earth X comic book that they made, and there was some soundtracks that had been made to, I think it was Purgatory for Brian Polito. So I've been kind of playing with that concept of soundtracks mixed in with the comics for a while now. I mean, of course, when we did our book at Image, all the songs that we did for each of the comics, for those of you who don't know, like Jason Pearson, J.K. Woodward, we had some really amazing artists work on this comic book, and each one has a song that guides the whole thing together. If you go to blacklightdistrict.co, you can still read it and listen for free.
There's a link in the video description.
Yeah.
Aaron, you still have a tremendous amount of static.
Do I really? Like a...
Oh, yeah.
Now it's better.
Because he turned it down.
Even when he like mutes, there's still like a tiny bit of,
Well, he hasn't muted yet.
or whatever he's doing.
That's muted.
Yeah, but I mean, like I thought he was manually muting, like on his physical mic. Is what
I
mean.
am.
Yeah,
I was, yeah.
Like yeah, when you're doing that, there's still like a tiny bit of static. It's way better than when you're not muted, but there's still like a tiny bit.
Is it bad now?
Sounds okay, right?
all right.
now.
Maybe it's the static coming from my brain.
Perhaps it is. So, Aaron, you went to Hawaii. You had a beautiful vacation. You had a great time until you didn't read the sign that said slippery when wet, and you broke your melon.
No, I did read the sign, and I assumed that the wet part of the incline was slippery and not the rest of it. So I was like, as long as I avoid where the water is coming up and all that moss, I should be fine. And I took 2 steps and immediately flat-backed and smacked the back of my head on the concrete and almost knocked myself out.
Now, do you think that's worse than what Jim did? He picked up a 2-pound dog and blew his back out.
I mean, I think what I did is manlier. It's a manlier injury.
I mean, if it was
You know what? The static's bugging me too. After this, I'm going to jump out and then jump back in.
if it was a 2-pound dog poop, I mean, I could see that.
If you slipped in the 2-pound dog poop.
Oh, darn it!
You guys are being gross.
Ooh,
Being so
Brody to
dirty.
the
I'm
max.
just following Sully's lead, man.
But,
let me go. out
But
and
you're
see.
better now.
No, I'm aside from just a little bit of I have trouble recalling certain words. Like I'll know words that I want to use, and it takes a minute to come to me. So I'm a little bit slower in that respect. But otherwise I'm fine. Yeah, the back of my head is pretty much healed up. The wound is closed up. I kind of bled all over everything. But I'm feeling a lot better.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, dude. We were nervous for you.
I appreciated all the well wishes from the chat. Like I started getting messages on Twitter and things like that, and I saw people talking about it when I tuned in last Saturday. And what a show you guys had without me!
Brilliant show.
It was awesome, dude.
Some are saying our best.
Yeah, maybe the best show
I'm
we've
upset.
looked
I'm upset that I missed Perch.
Hey, it's one thing you can't accuse the.
Don't
comics
worry, everyone
of.
else missed him too.
We are not an echo chamber. You know what I mean? We are not.
So, Sully, last week you were down on your luck. You were feeling black-pilled about comic books. It feels like you've been rejuvenated. Are you more hopeful about the future of comic books again?
A little bit. I mean, there were some really good. There are really good floppy comics. I was just our friend Sus Gabe Hernandez. He blackpilled me on floppies a little bit because I mean, like, I was starting to question what's the point of this all. I mean, if everything's just arc oriented going to the trade paperback. But guess what? I am still a Wednesday Warrior, and I go every week to my local comic book shop and get a sack of funny books, fresh funny books off the new release shelf. And I love our hobby. I love what we do, and I love the serialized format. And I know eventually, comics have to adapt and change, but it was just Sus Gabe's, susness rubbing off on me. Sorry.
Exactly. You don't want him to rub his susness on you.
I don't want his rubbing anything on me. Yuck.
Nah, that's not fun.
But yeah, I mean, oh, dude, and after the show today, I'm going to the Bruins game against the New York Rangers. It's hockey season next week. It's the last preseason game of the preseason, and I'm so psyched.
So this week was not a banner week in new comic books, though, Sully. Not everything hit.
I thought Marvel had a few good ones. Like the X-Men Overture was okay, because that would have been a decent zero issue, because it's all info dump and setup. And I love the Ryan Stegman art because it's really cartoony and it suits the tone of it. But that X-Men The Undertow book by Alex Padnadel and Tim Seeley, I really took the cake. I enjoyed the heck out of that book. I think those two should take over from Gale and e-viewing if they wanted to.
I'm not seconding Alex Padnadel on anything important.
Really? I thought that his Sentinels mini was good, and I liked that last one shot.
Sentinels is right where he should be, the 10th most important X-Men book.
But I mean, from the ashes for those offerings, I thought that his Sentinels was probably the second best after, McKay's adjectiveless X-Men. And I know that
Cable was better. Weapon X-Men was better.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Deadpool Wolverine number 10 this week by Ben Percy and Joshua Cassara was really good. Over the top superheroics, very 90s style, kind of mindless, very fun. I mean, that was Spider-Man Noir by Eric Larson. That was really good too. I mean, I like Larson's
It's not
writing.
a Spider-Man Noir book though. That's a little bit of a problem.
Right, but I like the gumshoe PI thing. I like this that 1939 kind of sass, that zip and to the dialogue. That was pretty good. I had fun with it. Fun goes a long way with me when it comes to comics. And then go ahead.
Did Eric Larson write it?
Eric Larson wrote it. Yeah,
Andrea.
Oh, shoot! I gotta go seek that out. That he only rarely has.
Ricardo illustrated. It looks really good.
Yeah, and last week, I mean, there was a Venom Black, White, and Blood that came out, and Eric Larson wrote and drew a Venom versus Spider-Man segment, and I forgot how much I love the way his Spider-Man looks, and that was really fun too. So I'm a big fan now.
Both those.
So Dylan, the real comic book gamer himself, you got any big videos people need to know about this week?
Yeah, I got a video talking about Green Arrow that's going out today because he's had some stuff that happened this week and a series got canceled a couple weeks ago. So got a video all about Green Arrow that'll be going up later today.
Now, this was supposed to be a pretty darn big week for DC. You had Absolute Evil come out. You had Justice League, the Omega Act special or something like that. And then you also had Batman #2. And I don't know. I thought that they all just kind of let me down across the board.
I like the Omega X special, but yeah, Batman and Absolute Evil were not very good. Batman was okay. It was half good, I'd say, for Batman. But then it's so weird when you have like a criminal murder someone, then try to get away, and the cop shoots him. Or like, can't do that. You're supposed to let the criminal get away. It's like, well, they just killed someone. They could be going to go kill more people. You can't let that happen. Why would Batman or Robin ever be mad about that? It doesn't make sense. That was.
And then stupid. Robin essentially attacks the police by throwing down an incendiary device and tries to escape himself.
Yeah, and I hate the whole thing where it's like this like just random cop just essentially took down Batman and Robin. It's like, how incompetent are Batman and Robin if this schlubby cop can take them out? Like, they get shot at constantly and they don't get hit, but this one cop just hits both of them. It's so stupid.
Yeah. I'm with you, but it looks so good though.
It looks amazing, and I like the moment in the Batmobile between the two of them. I love that when he's explaining all the different everything he's got. He's like, it's the coolest car in the world.
I like
now
that
drive
part.
it. That stuff was good. Like, I like his for the most part, I like Fraction's voice for Batman so far, like that, and when he talked to the girls in the park in the first issue, like I'm enjoying that. It's just so far the like meat and potatoes of the stories haven't been too great.
Does he
And that's,
does he ask Robin if he's retarded and then tell him that he's the goddamn Batman?
He has not reached Frank Miller's peak yet, no.
Okay.
But
No, it
hopefully
had
soon.
13 gears. Anybody would be confused if you got in a car and
Yeah.
it had 13 gears. Be like,
yeah, and he's
where's the
explaining.
last 8?
Yeah.
I have. Speaking of Miller's Batman, I have a shirt that's "I am the goddamn Darkwing Duck," but I don't wear it out because it's got a curse word on it, and I always think about people's kids. Like, they may not want their kids seeing that.
In the age of Twitter and online gaming, I don't know if goddamn is considered a curse in public anymore.
I don't know. I always think about like people's kids. Like I hate when I see like adults wearing shirts that have like vulgarity on it because I'm like, come on, man, what are you doing?
You would not make it here in the Philippines.
No,
Half the shirts are parody shirts with curse words in them.
Really? Wow. No, I mean, I just don't do it personally. Like if everybody else was doing it, I was like, okay, this is culturally fine. Apparently.
I don't know, dude. You live in California. It's culturally fine to shoot up and take a dump on the sidewalk.
Well, I mean, there is someone who worked at my local Walmart that had a neck tattoo that said "F bitches get money," and apparently that was acceptable for work at Walmart.
Exactly. So,
All right.
I
I mean, neck tattoos apparently are. It doesn't matter what it says.
No, look, your Walmart greeter probably got out of prison as early as this morning.
Let's be nice to the guy.
That's reminding me of this one time I was at this fair and I saw this girl. She couldn't have been much older than 19. And she had the most grotesque back tattoo that said, "Stay classy." And it was like ironic, but at the same time, like awful. Like awful. This wasn't worth the irony.
Did it have devil horns and a tail?
Kind of. It was all like scripty. It was very hood, Like, and
Yeah.
let me just say, the canvas that this back tattoo was on was not a flattering canvas.
I mean, I live in a city, man. I take the subway everywhere, and I got ink. You know what I mean? And it's weird because when you have ink, you like to check out other people's ink. But people with neck tattoos don't like to be looked at. I figured, like, it's weird. It's like, dude, I got ink too. I tight work there, kid. Sorry.
Well, they don't want you to be able to identify them when they make their next move.
They generally cost society money.
So I do want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's Comics Aficionados, Side Hustle Comics. They have Conquer #1 out on Kickstarter right now from Mark Miller and Valerio G and Giordano. Very cool stuff. We got a trailer for this bad boy to play right now.
Nice.
The lights went out. The power went down. And then they made their move. A hole in space as big as the world opened up. And nobody could save us from what came through.
Hey folks, Matt Miller here to talk to you about Conquered, our brand new series on Kickstarter. The basic idea, Independence Day meets Game of Thrones. The idea of a portal opening up in the middle of New York City and dragons, barbarians, all these hordes coming in like from a fantasy novel and wiping out America, just taking the country down, and they've got their eyes on the rest of the world. I'd say it's probably the best drawn book I've ever been involved with.
Hi, I'm Valerio Giordano and I want to tell you about the biggest project of my career. I've previously worked with Mark Miller on Nemesis Rogues Gallery and with Todd McFarlane on Spawn series, but this is my first huge creator-owned title, and I've been secretly working on this since the beginning of the year. Conquered is an enormous challenge as an artist, the entire world at war with a fantasy world. It's very difficult because I'm creating everything from the ground up, but it's so much fun to draw, and we have got the biggest visual here like you've never seen in a comic book before.
A really weird thing about Conquered is it's actually the very first proposal I ever sent into a comic book company. The artwork is a little bit better than my originals, Lee felt pens. When I was 13 years old, I sent it to Julie Swartz at DC Comics in New York. I got a nice letter back, a rejection letter, but here we are, 40 years later, and it's finally happening.
Conquered is an insane project and I can't wait to have it on my shelves. We are doing this over 4 volumes and the first is available now on Kickstarter.
That looks excellent.
Ooh,
Dude, I normally don't back Kickstarters because with the cost and then the shipping, which almost always doubles it, it's very cost prohibitive. But dragons taking over the White House and barbarians like going through New York City, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get on that one.
I loved Reign of Fire.
I love Reign of Fire too, and I like Independence Day.
Yeah, this is Reign of Fire, but cooler.
Excuse me, can I just say, Reign of Fire is awful, but I love it too. Yes. And like we deserve a much better dragon movie. That movie is just good enough for me to vicariously go, yay, dragon movie, but it's really not good.
I like the Star Wars recreation when they're telling story time to the kids. I mean, that was like my favorite part of the movie. I'm looking forward to this book. Seriously, he's got an oversized magazine format.
That's what I got.
Dude, I got that for Psychic Sam as well. I'm totally in for this as well.
The artist is great.
No, when I saw the image, I was talking to this on Wednesday. Wes and I talked about this on the podcast. I said I was just scrolling Twitter while I was on Maui, and I knew that Mark had an announcement. I didn't know what it was about, and I just saw the image. I didn't even know that was what he was announcing, and I was just like, "What is this?" And, I stopped and I looked at it, and then I was like, "Oh shit, this is Mark's new book." I'm really excited about it. It's funny because Jesse and I pitched a very similar concept once. We had dinner with Chuck Dixon. And we were talking about doing a book and having Chuck write it. That was very much kind of the same thing. Like a rifts is kind of opened up, and these different factions were coming in from these different worlds.
Just say that was our idea.
Mark Miller is way older than you guys. He submitted when he was 13. You were probably 2.
No. Our idea to hire Chuck Dixon.
Oh.
It was 8 years ago, and he wasn't getting any work. And we literally, had talked about it. We just went, this is so stupid. He's the most consistent journeyman person at DC Comics, and they're giving him no work right now. I bet you, if we just got behind him and put a little bit of money into something that he was willing to do, that we could build an audience on anything that he would want to do. And we were trying to do it. But then I ran out of all the money that I was using to fund the company.
Definitely one of the pitfalls of starting a comic book company.
Indeed. You know how you make $1 million in the comic book industry? You start out with $5 million.
But waka waka.
So that was really cool. I think it's awesome that Mark is sponsoring today's stream along with Side Hustle Comics. And definitely go check that bad boy out. And I think you're going to find the magazine edition is the way to go. That was what I got. So you get the magazine edition, you get the hardcover, and I think you get like a signed plate or something.
I'm into it.
Right, Sully?
I'm pretty darn sure. Yeah, you get a signed plate too. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Anything with dragons is good. Like Dragon Slayer is amazing. I like Dragonheart. I like Reign of Fire. If you can get some big ass dragons, it's going to be fun. What do you think, Dylan? Are you a dragon guy, or is that just like a Gen X thing?
Man, I like dragons. It's just like Jesse already said. It's unfortunate there's not a whole lot of good dragon movies. Is the problem? Like dragons are sick. It's just not a whole lot of great dragon movies.
Ooh, can I recommend on the dragon thing? Because I feel like a lot of people haven't heard about this movie. There's this massive Chinese film. It's an animated film called Niza.
I was just telling Aaron about this.
The sequel was super, super freaking successful. And I went to go see it, actually kind of confused about how successful it was. And me and my family, we lost our minds. And the designs of the dragons in the movie in particular are really cool. There is a dragon that is made of wood that shows up at a certain point in time. And is one of the coolest designs for a dragon I've ever seen in my entire life. But the entire movie, I mean, every background shot, I would look really deeply into it. And every character was fully designed and fleshed out, all these Oni and demons. One of the coolest movies I've ever seen in my life. If you haven't watched Niza 2, you can skip Niza 1 and just watch the sequel. It's unbelievable.
Unfortunately, they don't have it in English on Netflix, at least where I'm at. So it was all like, subtitled or whatever. But I was just looking at the animation because it looks so amazing.
It's amazing. Really, really amazing.
So that's the one you're on board for too, Dylan?
Yeah, I saw Niza too. Pretty good. The animation's great.
Dylan liked it almost as much as K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
That I still have not seen. I did go back and find the origin of that, by the way. I went back to the stream. I was like, I gotta get to the bottom of this. Turns out it wasn't any of us on the panel who brought it up. Someone super chatted and said, Dylan, have you seen this? Your girlfriend would probably like it. Someone super chatted it. So it wasn't anyone on the panel. And then Wes somehow turned that into me saying that I saw it and told him to watch it. I think Wes does have a concussion.
It's funny because as we were driving back from Hana on Maui, Daphne put on the soundtrack to K-pop Demon Hunters, and she has no idea anybody on the show. But I turned to her and I said, "My friend Dylan really loves K-pop Demon Hunters," and then I laughed to myself, and she's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm like, "It's just a running joke."
Hey, wait a second. Can I defend? K-pop Demon Hunters is really good. My kids.
We all like it. We all like it.
Dylan recommended it.
Okay, it is good. The music is good. I thought I liked everything about. I love a good animated film, and anything that gets my kids excited, I'll sit down and I'll watch them. And I thought it was really great.
Fantastic.
We all love. Honestly, every one of us that have seen it fucking loves that movie. But it became a meme because everybody
Wes got it so wrong.
Wes kept thinking that it was Dylan that recommended it, so it became a channel meme.
In Wes's defense, Dylan went into detail about trying to watch the movie with his girlfriend and having to shut off the Chinese pop-up ads.
I did not go into detail about trying to watch the movie. I said I gave the reasons why I wouldn't watch it. I did not go into detail about trying to watch it.
Well, I converted that into Dylan knows all about this, and he was having to shut all these ads down so we could enjoy the film.
I also know the one random chatter who on the follow-up stream was like, "No, it was Sully who did it." Sully kind of stray in there.
I haven't had Netflix since Cuties. I mean, I just sometimes when your host is going on, with he's like, "Sully, you saw it." I'm like, "Yes, sir, I did." It's just easy.
Jesse, I'm with you, man. K-pop Demon Hunters is the most 80s cartoon movie I've seen since the 80s.
You know, it really is. It does have a bit of an 80s vibe to it.
Yeah, you got Satan in there. You got girls singing, ninjas, fucking demons, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and going back to Niza, the end of that movie has one of the best cutscene kicker endings I've ever seen in a movie ever. Made me want a sequel immediately. It's really it involves the bad guy of the movie, and basically just a torturous kind of it leaves him in a place of torture, and it's hysterical. It really, that movie, I can't recommend it enough. If you guys haven't watched Niza yet, go do yourselves a favor. It's even better than K-pop Demon Hunters. And in America,
animation is better.
There are regular English subtitles in America, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, I get the English subtitles, but it doesn't have the dubs. It's animation. Just dub the goddamn thing.
I'll wait for it to turn up on Docbuster. I'm not paying for Netflix.
But it looks amazing. And if you like dragons,
yeah, it looks.
I don't
really
read
cool.
TV shows or movies.
What's that?
I don't read movies.
Yeah, exactly. They should just dub it over, but
everything
it
should
really
be
cool.
dubbed.
Man, Mr. Touchdown is a big fan of your work, Dylan.
He's making a joke because if you look who he's responding to, the guy said his name is Dylan. So the guy is saying "Oh, I'm a big fan of your work."
Excuse me, it's Dr. Touchdown. I don't think he spent 4 to 8 years.
His football university.
Sorry about that. Let's get to the Patreon shoutouts, because we did have plenty of people join up and join the family this week. It was great. Welcome to the family, Brent Wall, aka Momentum, the protector of Summit City, and also to Wakizashi's Tea House, friend of the channel, the Sentia Spirit himself. We've also got Infamy or Death, aka the Shonen Rider, protector of Neo Hanamura. We've also got Decrepit, backing the channel on channel memberships, aka Gravemind. We've got Improbi. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, aka Crimson Crow. Jagrin 2, also known as Lane Kramer, also known as Shenanigans, the destroyer of Doc Soul. Also joining up, we've got Jason Moreno, aka the Circuit Saint, Christian Chris, aka Blightwing, And finally, welcome back to JD, Storm Warden himself, the protector of Cyclone Harbor. Really appreciate it. You get awesome videos, podcasts, all kinds of extra bonus stuff on Think Critical Patreon and channel memberships. There's a link in the video description, not only for that, but certainly a link to Conquered #1. There's a link to Jesse's Kickstarter, a link to Jesse's YouTube channel. You've got free comic books that if you go to the Blacklist, right?
Blacklight District.
Blacklight District. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. Forgive me. I didn't know I was being referred to.
Yeah. There's all of Jesse's links in there. I had to go to his link tree because he's so, in demand, and he's got so much stuff out there digitally speaking.
Got a lot of links, like a sausage factory.
Exactly. And then Kalichioki says, colorful guest last week, Wes. I agree. I thought the Hart was very colorful. He was very, very passionate about comic books, which I 100% appreciate. That he had, obviously a long time in the industry and stuff like that. And I think we had an interesting show.
Chat was really entertaining.
It was far from boring.
The chat was definitely alive and well. Webslinger, Dylan, did you know it might have been Paul Dini who wrote the Superman animated series World's Finest episode where Batman cucks Superman? Do you think Paul Dini is a Batman fanboy like Bruce Timm?
Yeah, it was Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, and Rich Fogel who wrote those episodes. And I just remember as a kid I had the DVD for those, and I remember in the behind the scenes you have freaking what's his name talking about how he's the biggest Batman fan going over at Bruce Timm. He's talking about he's the biggest Batman fan, everything. And he's like, yeah, and Superman. and that was it. And that always gave me a bad thing for Bruce Timm. But I've read some of the Superman Adventures comics from Paul Dini. I remember those being good. It's been years since I've read them, so I don't know because he hasn't done a whole lot of work on Superman outside of Superman the animated series. But
he
those
also
episodes
did that really good
terrible.
Justice League book.
I love that World's Finest movie because it's when you have Batman meet Superman. Of course, they're in conflict, and Superman kind of basically pokes Bruce in the chest, and Bruce uses an Aikido move and just throws Clark across the room with very little effort and all leverage.
That's
and I just
bullshit.
love that.
Couldn't happen.
No. It could happen. That's Aikido. I mean, that's
He's fucking Superman. He flies. If you try to throw him across the room, he's going to levitate and hammer you.
Both those two episodes are literally just Bruce stunting on Superman because it's just everyone involved in the show was a bigger Batman fan than Superman. That's all that those episodes are. It's really
feels
bad.
like disrespect.
Yes, it is. It's straight up disrespect. And they do the same thing with Lex and Joker too. They make Lex look like an idiot compared to Joker. It's like the whole thing is just like Batman's so much cooler than Superman.
No, we don't abide by Superman disrespect on this channel.
Yeah.
Not even from Sully. Okay,
I'm not disrespecting him. He got his ass handed to him by a human.
Superman's reaction time would not allow Bruce to throw him with an Aikido throw.
He got
Solely
surprised.
saying that Steven Seagal could take on
He got
Superman.
surprised, but he has
That's
superhuman perception. So Bruce could get him. I will give you that Bruce could grab him and start the throw, but Superman's not going to fly across the room and crash into anything. He's going to stop himself before that happens.
You're so gullible, Sully. You just believe anything that they write in a comic book.
Also, I now want to see Steven Seagal versus Superman.
that would be a good one. I would love it.
Like
You're looking at with
1988 Steven Seagal versus Superman.
No, there's nothing better than current fat just wants to sit in a chair, Steven Seagal.
Well, the only thing better is the Mad TV skits they used to do with Steven Seagal with Will Sasso.
Yes, those were great. And then you
Those
had
were
Van
amazing.
Damme would come in too. Yes, those were so good. He'd break everyone's neck.
The Steven
But he would never
Seagal-
touch him because he was so fat and slow.
current Steven Seagal, where all he does in his little demos is like stick his hand out and barely touch the guy's hand. Like,
And then
the
they-
guy just flips over.
And then they zoom out, and it's a stuntman that's 200 pounds less than him doing all the actual work. It's great.
What is that dude's hat made out of? Like that hair hat that he wears now to try to convince us he's not bald.
Actual Russian bear.
You think so? Like, because
Part
it just
of it
reminds me. It just reminds me of Wayne from Wayne's World. Going, it looks like a hat made out of mung.
It came with the It came with the Russian passport.
Dr. Touchdown. Happy Saturday, folks. We made it to another one. On the topic of Marvel DC crossovers, I'd like to see Batman and Moon Knight for obvious reasons. Jesse, who is your favorite comic book superhero and your favorite run of theirs?
Oh, I mean, it's difficult because like
Another Batman mark. I can just feel it.
well, it's funny. I have like a dozen or so that are like big ones for me. Chuck Dixon's Nightwing, Jeff Johns' Wally West Flash, Eric Larson's Savage Dragon, Peter David's Captain Marvel with Chris Cross. Those are some of my favorites, like just my favorite runs that I would just show up all the time, very happily to read. And then, I mean, Daredevil, there's been so many runs of Daredevil. He's not like my favorite character, but some of the most creative things have been done with Daredevil over the years. I'm a big Daredevil guy.
Man, he is good. What do you think? Is Batman Moon Knight the next crossover to do? Because I would have preferred like Batman Wolverine.
That should have been the appetizer.
Well,
Yeah.
we did get Batman Wolverine. We got Frank Miller doing 3 pages.
Well, that's not what I wanted. I wanted an actual story.
Did anybody read it yet? I only saw a preview. I didn't read it yet, but I heard it wasn't very good. The Deadpool Batman.
Yeah, it's not very good. I mean, there's the Green Arrow story is probably the best thing in it.
Yes. Green Arrow
It's kinda
Daredevil was good.
predictable. But if you haven't been reading new comic books for the last 5 years, the Deadpool Wolverine team up story probably isn't going to read like the 10th time that you've read it. So maybe it would be predictable.
I
Sully
didn't
loved it.
really feel like that was the be all end all. Like, oh wow, finally Deadpool with Batman! Holy crap, man! Like, I didn't feel that way at all. Like, I didn't immediately, as a writer, I didn't immediately go, oh, opportunities to do. I don't know.
Well, I thought it was fun, and I didn't think it was made for us serious fans. I think it was made for normies, and I like the Captain America Wonder Woman story was good.
That was terrible.
I hated that.
That was awful.
Once again, showing our diversity of opinion at Comics Aficionados, not an echo chamber.
And Dylan and I hate it for different reasons. I hate it because Captain America needed to be talked down for murdering something by Wonder Woman, and he didn't like it. I think because it was just a bunch of patched together scenes that meant nothing.
But I hated it for both those because Cap is a soldier and should know that he doesn't need to murder a surrendering enemy. Like, he knows that. And he doesn't need to be convinced by Wonder Woman, which also is an odd choice to have Wonder Woman be the one that does it. It was just bad all around. None of it was good. No one wanted a best friends comic of Wonder Woman and Cap being convinced through the years not to murder people, because that was their friendship. She stopped him from murdering someone, and then he stopped her from murdering someone, and that was their connection.
Look,
that is so retarded.
If you were gonna do Wonder Woman Captain America, I'd have done the entire little like 3-page scene as like a meta joke about how they have the exact same first movie.
Well, that one was more like 8 pages, maybe 10.
I know, but that's where I would like. Oh, look, hey, they did this in the movie about me. Wow, they did this in the movie about me too. Just make it a joke about the fact that their movies are identical. If you liked First Avenger, no wonder you liked Wonder Woman.
You'd need a clever writer to do a meta thing like that, Doc. And currently, we don't have any of those.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. They're not like similar enough that it's going to be boring. They have some like connections. Like, that's something that could really be made into something really lovely. You'd sit there and you'd go, oh, this is nice. There's some similarity here, and a good writer could play with that wonderfully.
Jagrin 2 says, so from Wes's video with some of the similar sounding creatives still at DC, how long till All In may get derailed eventually?
Is KO replacing All In?
No, I think KO is just the mid event. And then there's a bigger event, I believe, planned out in 2026 that'll probably be the culmination of All In before their next named initiative, and they change the trade dress. That's what I kind of expect. Is that what you're expecting, Dylan?
Yeah, I believe so. Because they were talking about how this one's just supposed to be like a smaller, fun event and not the be-all, end-all.
Yeah, it's supposed to just be something that happens in the middle for fun, keep you around and move you towards whatever the end game of All In is going to be.
Am I the only one who found KO as a name to be really like pedestrian? And
Yes.
it literally like bothered me, especially because then when I saw like the teaser for what it was, it's like Secret Wars or Contest of Champions.
Mortal Kombat.
KO. It just sort of made it like that much more feel like, I don't know, a video game as opposed to a story I might like to read.
Well, it might be a video game if it's successful.
But the KO stands for King Omega.
Yeah. See, that's the cleverness. That's the cleverness there, Jesse.
You might think it stands for knockout, but it means King Omega.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded.
Big brain moves over here.
I would have come up with a better name. Secret Wars is a better name than KO.
Yeah, KO just really seems like, and I have a song called KO, but probably for a song, not.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it if they just called it DC King Omega. Like, I would actually like that better than just calling it KO. I mean, I get what they're going for, but I don't think it's that clever.
Because it means two things.
It's not a great name, but it doesn't really bother me. It's just
I wonder that is like X-Men Age Revelation Overture. Get the fuck out of here with your smarmy language. You say Alpha or number one.
Here's the problem with DCKO. The name, while it's not a bad name, it's a name that excites exactly nobody. You don't get a feeling of, ooh, that sounds cool.
Well, there's no story implied in it. Like a really good title is a title that gives you an idea about what it is you're going to be getting yourself into. Yeah. And KO is like an assumption I make with every comic I read. Hopefully someone's going to get knocked out. The title is There Will Be Action.
Yes.
Duh.
Like shit, it's a superhero comic. We kind of fucking expect it.
Yeah.
KO is.
You would be surprised if you're reading those Marvel comics, Doc.
You guys are getting over the stupid name of this book.
KO is what I expect to happen when I'm on vacation.
All right, Aaron, zip it. Enough jokes. This is going like it's the name sucks. We can all agree on that. Chuck Skills. My legal first name is actually Dylan, and I love K-pop Demon Hunters.
Chuck actually did a really great fan piece of Doomface. Chuck does indeed have skills.
Man. Dylan, why don't you step up to the plate for with the other Dylans out there and finally watch this amazing animated film with a great soundtrack that you are bound to fall in love with?
I don't care. None of it does not interest me at all.
You just wish back and watch Gone
I'm
with the
glad
Wind
that
in
there's
theater.
something that is like bonding Zoomer girls with Boomer men. That's great, but I don't care.
Other than
all fathers and daughters.
Uplifting that Asian girlfriend of yours, and she can see herself in this.
it also bonds sugar babies and sugar daddies.
Jesus.
Oh. This is the best.
More than his money and her tits.
Does Superman see himself more Kryptonian or human? In pre-crisis, he seems to see himself more Kryptonian, while in post-crisis, he sees himself as human. He's 100% correct there, Dylan.
Yeah, in Silver Age, he was always like, I'm so lonely. I'm the only one of my kind here. And there was a time when it would be like parentheses choke, and that's how they cried. He was always doing that. And then post-crisis, when we got Byrne on there, it was very much, I don't give a fuck about Krypton. I'm human, and that I much prefer because he grew up on Earth. Everyone he knows and loves is on Earth. All he knows is about Earth, so it makes sense for him to identify that way.
And he looks exactly like an Earthling. It's not like he just has he had two sets of ears. That's what separates him. He has, I don't know, his feet are backwards. Whatever. He looks exactly like a fucking human. So the whole I'm the only one of my kind. Bitch, you look exactly like every other white dude out there.
Yeah. It made much more sense post-crisis where he didn't really care as much. It was much more just like I'm human and this rules and compared to before.
Jesse, I know that you've seen the Superman movie.
Yeah.
There were people upset that there's the revelation that he was sent to Earth to create a harem and take over Earth by his Kryptonian parents. I didn't think that was a bad revelation. Screw those guys. I'm glad that he denied them.
You know what? So I was going to say that, Dylan's absolutely right. It's not really, doesn't really make sense for him to be super Kryptonian based. And it's total lazy writing why they did that with him. Because, there's always this feeling with Superman that you have to give him difficulties in order to make the stories better. But really, the difficulties come with him choosing to do things, handle things better, to do things a higher level, to not just punch somebody in the face, but to figure out how to, do something that might be more meaningful long-term. And I think that absolutely the change in the movie is a problem. The biggest problem is that it's homogenizing it with every Superman-like character that they've made since. Superman is one of the few positive visions of sort of like, the future, even though it's not the future, but Krypton is a future society that sends their golden boy to us, and it's a positive thing. To automatically go back in time and retroactively think very negatively that an advanced civilization would be so advanced as to be total demon monsters, and then suggest to their child...
They were so advanced that they didn't listen to Jor-El and let their planet blow up. They've been retards forever. This isn't new.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
agree.
say that.
I will admit that there is truth to that, absolutely. But at the same time, it really is a weird thing. It's a weird thing to assume that an advanced civilization would be awful, because human beings have been awful the more advanced we've gotten. So for me, that was a
Well, we've always just maintained our awfulness, I would say.
But seriously, for me, that was a heartbreaking jab at science fiction that has any sort of positive wink going on. Superman was a positive story of science fiction, and simply by making that the twist, now it's a negative science fiction story, because the part of him that is tied to science fiction is now about this despotic,
Yeah, but it's positive because he turned away from those roots and realized his real parents are Mom and Pa Kent, and that he loves the human race, and he's not going to take over the world.
But why does he need to do that? Like for me, this was just a little thing to make him more like Invincible. Invincible is invincible because Superman exists. Now, because Invincible and other things exist that are a little bit...
I just don't like anything to do with Krypton, and I love that they put that in there so we won't have to see it again.
I agree with you. I don't really love Krypton stuff either, but I think making them evil is just ultimately...
I don't think they made them evil, though. I think they just had a very very practical and pragmatic view of what they were sending. We are sending. Now, granted, they are looking down on humanity, but by being a civilization that thinks of themselves, that is more advanced and thinks of themselves as more advanced, it's like sending Superman to a planet of they of course they would view humanity as beneath him. So you're going to go and you're obviously going to rule because you're so far superior. I don't think it's necessarily evil. Is it elitist? Is it I don't think it's necessarily evil intent. It's certainly elitist. It's certainly
you want to call it elitist. I would say that elitism is the single solitary problem on planet Earth right now, this second. Everyone on the left, everyone on the right are so elitist that they can't come together in the center. And I'm yelling about this now because you guys are going, no, it is a big deal. This is a purely positive origin story. Positive. We have a forward-thinking mind, and we're like, hey, take this forward-thinking culture, that bring it to Earth and raise them up. And now we have this advanced society that's like, oh no, we suck just as much as human beings do. We're now bringing human thinking into this science fiction scenario, and we're going to go, well, how would a human handle it? Oh, we handle it like this because we suck. So for me, anything that makes the science fiction characters, the possibilities of better being all around us, now negative, like that is a loss to culture.
Well,
because like a big part of it was always how retarded the Kryptonians were for not listening to Jor-El. Like the whole reason their planet exploded was because of their own hubris, and they didn't listen to him.
Right.
And so I don't think it was ever like everything is perfect on Krypton. This is great, and we're sending our son out to make everything as great as Krypton. I don't think it was ever
perfect
huge like that.
And there's a big difference between being good people.
But I think your planet exploding is kind of a big deal in much. It isn't like a small little they were just not the perfect. That's a big deal.
You could be stupid and wonderful. Being wonderful doesn't preclude that you have to be so conniving and thinking all these things. They could be at peace with dying. There's a million different things that we don't have to make them evil. We don't have to make them take concubines. Like he tell them
thank
to take many wives. Like, what the hell sort of evil, disgusting shit is
There are
that?
people with multiple wives on Earth today.
well,
You call
they're called
them evil?
Mormons.
Well, no, they were telling him because he's the last one, and like that's the quickest way to make more
he
Kryptonians.
needs to-
That's why they were saying
like
that.
a Mormon and go out there and hit on lots of Earth women and attempt to accrue a lot of wives.
No, I
Wives.
think you've won me over to your basic premise, Jesse, is that that elitism is evil. It is I don't think that it I don't think that Krypton being retarded is necessarily speaks up for Jor-El being retarded, because he was the lone voice saying like, "Hey, you guys are retarded. We're going to blow up." That makes him intellectually on a higher level. But I do think you kind of turned me on the idea that sending his kid here and thinking that, okay, we're obviously superior, so take all these wives and propagate the race and things like that. It's definitely a flawed way of thinking. It's definitely rooted in an elitism and in a narcissism that and I understand they want to
What
preserve
if
their
there's
race.
an alien civilization that arrives and wants to start breeding? You're gonna be like, "Listen, you elitist fuck, I'm not
Well,
falling for your shenanigans."
I don't know. Are they hot? Is it like is it Death by Snoo Snoo?
Let me clear, like I don't like the chains gun made to the L's in this, but I don't have a huge problem with it. I was like, I didn't really care for that, and then I moved on. It wasn't the biggest deal for me, but I didn't like the change he made, but it wasn't a big deal.
I didn't
because
care. I hate
Krypton always hasn't been this perfect place.
Fundamentally, I think I look at it as, yes, it's elitist, and it shows the moral and logical failings of an egotistical race, that even the ones that do point out like, hey, we should probably stop doing this one thing that's going to blow up our fucking planet, even they are like, they still have, they're flawed and egotistical, and it is ultimately a fatal flaw. Well, it is a fatal flaw to their race at the level that they reached, where they have the same amount of hubris. It's just not on the same exact subject. This time their hubris is, hey, you're better than everyone, go and fuck a bunch of people and have babies.
All right. Let's just,
Well, look, the
we don't have
Superman
to
movie
just
was
all
mid. It was fine. It was mid. Why are we
I have
injecting
no
so much?
idea why you guys went on a 15-minute
If
fucking
these
theological
Kryptonians-
debate about it, but Jagger too. So with Peacemaker season 2, how do you guys feel the tone of the DCU with Gunn will go over the next 5 years? I'm feeling sus, and I like Peacemaker.
I don't really like Peacemaker, but I think it'll be fine because I think he will let directors do what they want to do, because I think he worked with Kevin Feige, and I think he knows how just trying to make everything feel the same and not have directors fill out their vision goes, and it's not good. So I think he'll let other creatives do what they want. And Superman feels much different than Peacemaker, so I don't think everything's going to feel like Peacemaker.
Oh, I have thoughts on that. The tone that is being set up here, and I wouldn't have a big problem with it except for the fact that Hawkgirl shows up on the Peacemaker season two, and she was my biggest problem with the Superman movie. Guy Gardner works because he's the only one who's like that. He's the only one who's superficial and rude in this way. Booster Gold has a similar sort of personality, but it's taking up different space. He's making all of the people who aren't Batman and Superman into Guy Gardner, and that is a big problem. When
What
you
are you
have
gonna do with Peacemaker and Vigilante?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And so when you go into that world and you're with Maxwell Lord and you're with Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner, and all three of them are behaving like Guy Gardner, just for me, ultimately that shows me that we're never going to get the thing that fans asked for. The DC universe is just about legacy, and it's more serious than the Marvel universe is when it's done at its best. These archetypes really represent something. The Flash is the fastest man alive. He is the archetype for speed, right? And there are similar archetypes all across the board, and you have to take them seriously. If you don't, it just sort of like basically you're leaving dessert unserved. You're leaving the meal unserved. And I think the more they take this down everybody's Guy Gardner sort of route, which they've already been doing with Hawk Girl, the more the audience is never going to actually be given the incredible feast that reading great DC Comics is. And it's always going to stay in this like Justice League Europe kind of space where it's just a little too jokey, quite, majestic enough. And I really think it's a problem.
Jack on 2 then says, Aaron, you need to check out Legendary Beast 1/3 Batman the Animated Series statue.
I'll check it out, but I'll check it out. But I'm not a statue guy. As we, I mean, it's just I like statues, but just I don't collect them because I don't have room.
You like them to move.
I like
so
them
when
to
I
move.
send you statue pictures, you're like, Jesse, I don't really like this. So when I send
No,
you
I'm like, what do we always say? You send me pictures of awesome statues, and I go, man, I wish that was a figure.
Are we using euphemism and code word here now?
I'm sending you action figures. We're big action. Did you not figure this out?
Thought we were using code.
No.
Dr. Touchdown. Additional trivia fact I learned the other day. Apparently, AJ Styles, yes, that AJ Styles voiced Cannonball in a Marvel cartoon 15 years ago.
Oh,
that
shit.
probably would have been Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, probably. Or it might have been X-Men Evolution.
Maybe.
Aaron, who's your favorite AJ Styles? I like X Division AJ Styles in TNA, even when TNA sucked more than current AJ Styles, but he was pretty decent when he first showed up at WWF.
Yeah, no, I liked it when he came into WWE and he was doing the the face that runs the place. And he kind of like pushed Cena out. Like I dug that. I just wish that they'd really like done something with him and Gallows and Anderson. Like, I wish they'd.
Yeah,
really
but he showed up.
them.
He was like 39 already.
Yeah, but like so's everybody now. Everybody's in their 40s. All their big stars are in their 40s.
Not the YouTube guy.
For some reason, I was thinking AJ Styles was a member of the Backstreet Boys, and then it did dawn on me who AJ Styles was. Is there something close to AJ
Everybody.
I think there's an AJ something in the
Backstreet's back. All right.
Like, why are we talking about AJ Styles?
Oh, I thought that was CM Punk's wife.
No, that's AJ Lee.
Oh,
Who, by the way, like I was excited about her coming back, but now WWE is on all these, behind all these paywalls, and I can't watch it, and I've just lost interest.
Although here's a nice little piece of information for anyone that might want to use it. If you still have Netflix, if you haven't canceled it yet, and you buy a VPN, you can watch all that stuff, including SmackDown, on the VPN. Just pretend you're in Canada. And then you can watch the PLEs from Canada.
Very nice.
Good to know.
Dr. Touchdown has a theory. Dylan has already seen K-pop Demon Hunters and just stringing everyone along. He's on to you, Dylan.
Dylan's like, I watched it 35 minutes ago.
I'm watching it on the stream right
Through every
now.
stream, I watch in 5-minute increments.
It's got a really dynamite soundtrack, dude.
It does, man. Golden.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's this big cat that's like clumsy and he keeps knocking things over and trying to pick them up. It's pretty hilarious.
With the fucking
He puts
hat.
his tongue out, and he's got like hidden things on his tongue. It's a mystery cat.
I don't know that anything that you guys just said would sell it to me if I was Dylan.
I thought that was the plan. The plan was sell him very badly this movie.
Describe a movie poorly.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you've got your list of the 65 movies you've watched in 2025?
Yeah.
If you watch K-pop Demon Hunters, it'd be in the top 5.
I don't know about that.
That's
We'll never find out, unfortunately. That's
JT
a shame.
JT Thompson is saying that Dylan is actually one of the producers on K-pop Demon Hunter.
Maybe.
I wish. Then I would have made some
From
money.
the man who brought you K-pop Demon Hunters, the real comic book gamer. But Yeah, I think he's probably seen it. He's messing with us at this point. Rate Deck 7, there is a Cartoon Network animated series called OKKO. Let's Be Heroes. Could a crossover with DC in that series be in the works?
See, that's kind of clever. Okay, KO. Clever.
Well,
I just had
Cartoon
to-
Network was owned by Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So if they wanted to do a crossover, they could easily do it. They own both properties.
I just had to approve a chat by Sully.
What the hell did Sully
Yeah.
do? Did he try to put a link?
He said sexual history, and for some
Oh,
reason,
oh.
YouTube flagged it.
And I even put
Oh,
an asterisk in
Because
there.
he's
Yeah.
being dirty. That's why it
Being-
was
it's
flagged.
being noted.
It's the most benign comment. It's one of the most benign comments in the chat.
YouTube's like that, man. They nailed me for hate speech, and I'm like, what? Me?
Oh, that's right.
You can't say that word on the stream. You're going to get us flagged.
I'm not gonna do it.
Did you get to watch OKKO Let's Be Heroes? Aaron, you're the biggest kid on the channel.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I've never heard of it either.
I challenge you for supremacy. Biggest kid on the channel.
So you've seen it.
No, I haven't watched it, but I have seen the trailers and stuff for it.
Why is Sully not a mod yet? Listen, Sully's not ready to wield that kind of power.
You know, I could abuse it. You know what I mean?
Sully can barely sustain
you-
his own life on any given day. We're not
you-
giving him too much power to wield here. Okay?
Are you a mod or are you a rucker? I'm a mucker.
Only the creator of Doomface can have mod power.
We did have some big news come out. You know, we had the Deadpool Batman. We're getting ready for Batman Deadpool. And now Marvel and DC have announced at least what the next team-up's going to be. And it's the one that everybody wanted, Superman and Spider-Man, back together again after 45 years or so. In the late 70s and early 80s, I believe they had two crossovers. Prior, they're going to be reprinting those. Dylan, as the Superman aficionado, is this the news that you've been waiting to hear? And who are you hoping is on this Superman book?
Anyone good? I hope it's not another Zeb Wells situation, because
Yay.
the team ups don't matter if you don't have the creatives that can pull it off.
It's going to be Dan Slott.
Problem.
It's going to be Dan Slott.
Yeah, he's probably going to be one of them.
I
That
was
would-
thinking that they'd stick weight on it.
Yeah,
That would
I'd
be-
see either of those guys.
You know who I actually would like to see, at least on the Marvel one? Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. They
Yeah.
both have a long history
Yep.
of both Spider-Man and Superman. It would be literally the exact right
He'd kill it.
creative team.
Joe Kelly's great.
Yeah. And I'd love to see Ed McGuinness's like his current art style right now do Superman, because he hasn't done Superman so long. That'd be cool to see.
They would look cute next to each other in McGinnis's style too.
I'd even accept Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness.
Maybe. I don't know about modern Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb's not what he once was, but yeah, it'd be interesting. Maybe he could do it. But Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness would be great.
Yeah, Joe and Ed would be. Oh, that's fucking perfect.
Give me Kurt Busiek.
He's
That
a
would be cool.
douchebag, so no.
I don't care.
I would like to see. I agree with Sully there. I'd like to see him on there.
Kurt Busiek writes a great Superman.
I
does.
would. I would be fine. However, I'd actually be more interested in how much oxygen it takes him to type the script. Like how many puffs from the mask? Because
yes, sir. Yeah, he's a big boy.
yeah, like he gets out of breath typing. He's that fat. He makes Dan Slott look skinny.
Oh man, there was nothing crazier than seeing Dan Slott in San Diego Comic-Con's Artist Alley with their little card, like little dinner tray Artist Alley tables, with no room behind them, trying to like be behind it. It was. I wish I'd gotten pictures. It was like, why would you put him there? And there's just, what are you doing?
Like my fat ass trying to hide behind a bamboo tree.
It's like, when you ever seen that picture of the elephant that got caught stealing the sugar cane, the baby elephant, and he's behind the telephone pole trying to hide.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But no, I think that now for DC, I don't think DC would stick Slott on it. I think that they know better.
I mean, they've got better talent, but I hope that they knock it out, because I would love some of the suggestions that we talked about here.
I would love
That'd be super
Jeremy
interesting.
Adams. I mean, Jeremy Adams knows how to write superheroes. He keeps an authentic voice to the characters. He does he does not try to reinvent the wheel. He gives us what we ordered. He gives us simple superhero fare that everyone can enjoy, and I think that kind of touch is needed right here, in my humble opinion.
No, I agree. I would love Jeremy Adams on it.
I think he could do a good job. Williamson's been hitting his marks lately. I'd like to see what Williamson can do.
Williamson's been crushing it lately, especially like this week's that Omega issue, that Justice League Omega issue.
Yeah.
I loved that. I mean,
I thought it was pretty good.
It's got me actually fired up for a KO a little bit. I mean, Superman 30, Justice League Unlimited number 11, and this, I'm like, I'm actually pretty psyched for it.
Yeah, I'm getting
there.
more excited for KO.
Yeah, I
Kaiser
know.
Jose said Jeremy Adams and VK Marion are a great team. Absolutely.
Yes.
Love VK Marion. Great guy too. He's been on the channel. I'll see him in a couple of days in New York.
Yeah, you're going to New York. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
So I won't be here on the show next week. So guys, try not to try to have another banger.
Don't let the show burn down without I'm gone.
I'll see what I could do about making sure we get demonetized. I give it the old college try every time.
That's why we love you, Duck.
All personal feelings aside, Mark Waid would probably do a good job too, because I read Justice League Unlimited number 11 last week, and it's like, wow, that was really good. I think the guy's a D-bag, but he still does the job very well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'd be too good for like just a one-shot crossover. I'd feel like that doesn't suit his talents. I personally wouldn't really care for Mark Waid on this. I don't think he would nail it. But I think Jeremy Adams, Joshua Williamson, I think either of those guys is who I'd choose from the DC side of things. And I agree with Doc on the Marvel side. I think Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness just a shoe-in. That would be perfect.
Yeah. If I had to choose between Wade and Slott, I'd go Wade.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like deciding if you want the red pot poker up your butt or in your pee hole.
I'll choose the seasick crocodile.
Both of them fucking suck.
Mark Waid's a better writer.
I'm going to see Ed McGuinness tomorrow. I'm going to the Wicked Boston Comic Con, and he is like the only creator of note that, like, the only name. It's Ed McGuinness, and so he's going to have the longest line. But I'll say hi to him tomorrow.
I also agree with JT Thompson's chat saying bring back Marv Wolfman for a one shot for this. That'd be great. If you had Marv Wolfman write a little story for the crossover, that'd be awesome.
I'd like to see Marv.
Well, I know Wes had a good idea earlier when we were talking. Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Oh yeah, I'll read anything he writes.
Yeah,
Throw him
that'd
on
be a good
anything.
choice.
You might not be a big enough name though.
But
They put Zeb Wells on a book over it. That was the Marvel
true.
side, true. Yeah, that was the Marvel side, true. Technically, DC did go for a name with Grant Morrison on the Batman.
Do you not like Zeb Wells, Aaron?
No, I do not like Zeb Wells.
I feel like Zeb is very charming, very consistently.
What's the last Zeb Wells thing you've read?
It's been a moment.
Did you read his Amazing Spider-Man last volume?
No, but it sounded like that. Well, that everything about it sounded awful, so I didn't go near it. I mean, really, just that concept of Mary Jane disappearing into another dimension and showing up married to another guy who's like strapping and handsome. It's just like there's everything.
Sometimes strapping and handsome, sometimes skinny and cuckish, sometimes just like all over the
literally
place.
Sean King.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a fan of that, but in general, I have found Zeb's writing to be very consistently good.
Well, let me be fair. Anybody working for Nick Lowe is going to be working under Nick Lowe's direction,
right?
So
That's what I
maybe
mean.
you can't do your best work, but I can't think of a single thing that Zeb's ever done that I can't even recall being impressed by anything.
Hellions was the only thing.
Oh,
that
yeah,
ever
Hellions
wrote.
a lot.
That's fair.
was-
You know what?
was-
Absolutely fair. I take back what I said. Sometimes,
'cause
sometimes
I-
I can deliver.
I have unfortunately read a lot of Zeb Wells over the years because he was always a guy that ended up on books that I'd give a chance to. Like going back to that.
He did a lot of the Venom stuff, right?
Well, a little bit of it, but literally going back to like him on that New Warriors book with Scotty Young, way back that ended up being like the premise that they used of the New Warriors for Civil War. It was a continuation of that book where they were doing a reality show. Like he was on those books, and that is legitimately Zeb Wells' ceiling. Talent-wise, the fact that he ended up on ASM is more a commentary on the dearth of other talent. Everybody better than him quit or left. That's the only reason he got basically promoted through attrition. He never got better.
Well, I think that inherently is the problem here, Doc. DC's, they got options. They have writers that are still pretty decent right now. Whereas at Marvel, it's like, what are the options? It's Jonathan Hickman. And then you don't really have a big name writer, I guess, if you still consider Hickman a big name writer, which I do personally.
I mean, the closest other one would have been probably Joe Kelly.
Ben Percy. I think he does a decent job half the time.
But Joe Kelly's, he unfortunately never got a huge name. He was never a guy that really sold on to the comic book audience. It was more to the he was like for the smart marks. That's Joe Kelly.
Well, that's still Kennedy Johnson.
Yeah.
Something that I think's important with whoever they choose to write these, from like the names we've been saying, is like getting people that are currently writing comics for the big two, because that's something that was stupid with this recent crossover. It's like the best one was written by Kevin Smith. If you're getting back into comics, you're like, oh wow, this one was really good. What's this guy writing? Nothing. If you go he wrote Green Lantern.
He wrote Green Arrow and Daredevil 20 years ago. I mean,
and even if you liked the Deadpool Batman crossover, like, is Zeb Wells even writing anything right now? Like, there's nothing to check out. It's like you got to get people that are currently writing your comics, so that way, because the goal of this was to get people back into comics. So if you check it out and you're like, oh, I really like what this creative team is, let me check out what they're doing. Like if you have a Joshua Williamson or a Jeremy Adams, like, oh, they have these books I can go check out, compared to like Kevin Smith's not doing anything, Frank Miller's not doing anything, Zeb Wells not doing anything. Like the creatives on this first crossover were odd choices.
Yeah, stop thinking about like just selling this one book, and start thinking about how you use this one book to pull people into other books. If you had Jeremy Adams and V.K. Marion on a Superman Spider-Man story, and then right when you finish that story, there is an ad for them, that's like, hey, did you like this? This team is currently on, Green Lantern. But we know that these comic companies, ever since Image broke away, they don't really like to promote creators all that much. They're very nervous about it.
They never want to make superstars.
They never have, though. They don't promote the creators. I mean, that's such a huge thing. Like, if you become a writer, especially that is getting company, I mean, it's insane. You know what Jeff Johns had to do in order to get DC to start promoting? He had to leave and start working on things at Marvel. He made a Thing miniseries at the time, and it did a run on Avengers, and then DC went, wait. And anybody who was a fan who was reading at the time knew that he was number one with a bullet, the best creative person they had working for them. And it took them seeing him go to another company and get a claim over there in order for them to go, sorry, let's come back, Jeff. Let's we're gonna do the centerpiece of everything.
I'm glad we got that Avengers story though, because that was a damn good story.
In fairness, DC was often like that. Marvel at the time. So they got burned more than anyone else by, obviously, the Image guys left, and they decided after that, they didn't immediately decide to stop turning artists into superstars, because they did it again with like Joe Mad and a couple other folks that immediately also then followed the Image guys.
Well, Joe Mad was undeniable. You couldn't have stopped him from becoming a superstar.
Yeah, I feel like that only worked when they used people who had already succeeded on that level.
Yeah, well, no, Joe Mad hadn't succeeded yet. He was on Excalibur doing nothing and then went to X-Men and then really became that household name within comic reader circles. But that was like the last straw, and they said, we're never making superstar artists again. But they did decide in the early 2000s to do superstar writers. And they did it with Brubaker, Bendis, Mark Miller, and then later Hickman and Remender and Jason Aaron and all those other folks. And then those guys all left and did the Image thing again, but by going and doing like Miller World and creator-owned stuff. And
that's the big fear that Doc just put into me here, Dylan. It's gonna be Bendis. The rumor is that he's returning to Marvel Comics. He just did.
Oh God, no,
that would be terrible. Bendis, that would be terrible.
Don't do that to
I
him.
thought my slot prediction was doom and gloom.
Man.
8 million word balloons. That would be.
Can I say, if you have to blame anyone creatively for me ending my, I mean, I would read 150 periodicals a month. I mean, I read that much. And his decompression of the storytelling around that time, just towards the end of his run at Marvel, just everything got so tedious and boring. I remember the culmination of this, which me and Aaron have talked about a bunch, was the Siege miniseries, which was like the last big event that Bendis had done over there. And Siege represented the culmination of one of the best, crossover story arcs they'd ever done at Marvel, which was Dark Reign, which was really awesome. And in the books where like they were playing it up correctly, it was some of the best shared universe books you could possibly read. And when Bendis wrote the conclusion to that story, he had one job, and that was to have the evil versions of the superheroes meet up with the good guy versions of the superheroes. And he purposely refused to do that in the 4-issue miniseries. And it was one of the least satisfying story conclusions that Marvel had ever done. And considering it had 3 years leading up to it of very satisfying stories that were building to Siege, I mean, I don't think I've ever forgiven him for Siege alone. And he killed Ares just as Michael Avon Oeming had just built Ares up in a miniseries introducing his son, which was just awesome. And then he just unceremoniously ripped the character in half. I just went, this guy just doesn't really care about what other people are doing. He did the same thing with The Hood, which was Brian K. Vaughan had created The Hood, Parker Robinson. That was a really interesting character. He used the character, just did whatever he wanted. Sentry used the character, just did whatever he wanted. That was when I just started to think that Brian Michael Bendis thinks that this is his party, this is his show, that everything that's good here is about him. And, I haven't seen a good idea come out of his face since then.
Well, Bendis also, on a personal level, stabbed Paul Jenkins in the back, which I will never let go. Which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And Bendis is also the person who got me out of reading monthly Marvel comics. I dropped almost everything because I just said I didn't enjoy it anymore, which was Civil War 2. I was reading that book and I just set it aside and said I don't want to do this anymore.
It's funny that you guys are like, what the latter end of his Marvel career is so dog shit, because DC saw that and was like, we got to pay this guy a lot of money to ruin our best character.
Dude, I can imagine Bendis as coming on and doing this. It'll be wrong Superman, like his entire run on Superman was, and it will be not about Superman. And then the Spider-Man, he'll either give it ultimate Peter Parker's voice, or he'll sub in Miles 3 pages in.
Yeah,
because that's what he really wants to do.
What was the name of his big villain that he introduced, Dylan?
Rogol Zar.
That'll be it. That'll be the big villain.
This is so stupid.
Little Lex Luthor.
Wasted Ivan Reis. Amazing art. Wasted him on that. Oh, that was terrible. Ruined what Jurgens had done with Oz, with Jarrell. Ruined John, the work Tomasi and Gleason had done. It
made John Romita Jr. lazy because he didn't want to draw anymore after he like ruined John Romita Jr.'s love of drawing comics. He got those scripts and was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
and
it
then
was
put in zero effort and
Understandable.
hasn't put in effort since.
working with Bendis was his League of Extraordinary Gentlemen moment, where like Sean Connery was like, "I'm retiring. This sucks."
And I remember he had his story in like Action 1027 or whatever, like one of those big anniversary issues. And there's one where it's like a big splash page. It's like a lot of the Bat family, and then there's just like a ton of word balloons. They all have the same voice. No character talks differently. They all talk the exact same. Jason is the same as Damien. It's the same as Tim. It's so bad. And
They all talk as Bendis. They all talk as
Yes.
Bendis.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like for a while we were all putting the character voices on the characters for Bendis, and then at a certain point we just started going, "Hey, wait a second! I think I'm helping you out here." Like
Yeah.
that guy's dialogue,
Charitable.
just like this guy's dialogues, like all the same.
But everybody, a lot of people in the panel are saying, or at least in the chats are saying, he's not going to be doing this, Superman, Spider-Man. He's doing Ultimate Comics, which I think is the rumor, or at least a part of the rumor. So hopefully it's that, right? Because I would prefer Slott over him.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Hey, if it's Hickman, he'll quit like 14 pages in.
14 pages in.
and let one of his let either Tinny Howard or one of
Dennis
the other
Camp.
Dennis Camp or one of his other
Guys, it's
worst-
Denise.
yeah.
Jeez.
Denise
By the way,
Camp.
we have 438 people watching right now. So if any of you could be so kind as to hit that like button, that would definitely help us out a lot.
Smash that like button.
One of his other jabroni evaluations.
And I just thought of it. You know, it would be cool. Daniel Warren Johnson doing
That would be the
Spider-Man,
one.
Superman. That would be the best.
That would be
That'd
the
be really cool.
the
Oh,
best.
Daniel
That
Warren
would be the-
Johnson is one of the best recent talents in comics. Period.
I mean,
It's really
yes.
the amount of artists, writers that can really do it. He's blown me away. I've enjoyed everything he's worked on.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a KO variant cover coming out, and I've got one saved for me at my LCS because I'm like, that's what sold me on DC KO issue 1 was, okay, I want that Daniel Warren.
Although the Superman giving them the brain buster.
Yeah, totally. I'm totally into that.
How many pages in before Superman or Spider-Man suplex somebody?
That would be great.
Hopefully one. Do it on page 1. That's all I want to
Yeah.
see.
Just like cartoony action, over the top, super heroics. Give it to me, please. Make it
Jesse,
fun.
are you reading the new Transformers from Daniel Warren Johnson that he just completed?
I only got to in the store. I read the first issue a few months ago when I was out with my kids, and it was awesome. I'm planning on picking up the trade when it's all.
I'm about to spoil some shit. Sparrow, I know you read it. In that
No.
issue 24, when Optimus is running at freaking Megatron, and then you turn the page and he turns into the 18-wheeler and spears him. I
Yeah,
was like, fuck yeah.
there's a. It's hard for me not to like Daniel Warren Johnson stuff because he puts so much wrestling in it. There is a pile driver in Kneel Before Doomface specifically because I was reading Daniel Warren Johnson stuff at the time, and I was like, you know what, this needs to happen.
Exactly. I want Superman pile driving Spider-Man on the cover, Daniel Warren Johnson. That would be an amazing.
Do a power bomb, man. It's always a good move.
Yeah, he can make his own webbing. The webbing can make the ring, and just like come on, use the Empire State Building as the top turnbuckle coming down. Woo.
But that is the best case scenario, would be to bring in a ringer like a Daniel Warren Johnson that doesn't typically work with Marvel, but has worked with Marvel in the past. But after the Zeb Wells experience still, and I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, I feel DC could maybe get someone good. I hope they do. I hope they get
I
someone
assume
good. And
DC will put
and
a
I'm-
name on it.
And again, someone who's currently writing stuff, because Grant Morrison is an interesting choice, but he doesn't really have a whole lot going on at DC at the moment, so it's kind of a weird choice. But it's better than Zeb Wells. At least you're getting a legend to write something, unlike Zeb Wells.
I've also had to admit on the show that occasionally I confuse Zeb Wells with Cody Ziegler on things that they've written. So, I maybe I'm overly harsh on Zeb, but yeah, I'm just not impressed.
I think Zeb was Robot Chicken, and then Cody Ziegler is Rick and Morty.
Talk
but they
about
both
a
worked-
show that fell off fast.
But they both worked on the She-Hulk show together, I believe. They were in the writers' room for that.
Oh, that's a
Yep.
heavy recommendation.
That's right about Zeb. Zeb did a lot of quirky and kind of interesting Marvel projects for a long time. Like I'm pretty sure he was the one who had been working on the Kraven series when they had the Kraven son. I think that was one of his early guys over at Marvel. That cool Avenging Spider-Man book with Joe Madriera, and he's done just like a lot of kind of odd things for the company. But I've always consistently enjoyed his voice. I think there's a lot of people who, write all comics like paint by numbers, and like they like think comics are supposed to be low quality, so they like deliver low quality, and they're like, there you go, comics. And I think like Zeb Wells is like the humor, and like it's always like pretty top notch. He's not one of the people who makes the stories that like I crave, like Warren Ellis or Grant Morrison or somebody like that. But I think his voice is adequate compared to most of the people. Half the people that I read nowadays, like I don't think that they get any of the character voices right.
That's definitely a problem.
Yeah.
All right, Dylan. So if you're DC, we're assuming it's going to be like maybe a Mark Waid. Who's the artist that you want on a Superman Spider-Man book, dude?
I mean, for DC side?
Yes.
For DC side, I'd like to see Jimenez. I think Jimenez could do it. Jorge Jimenez on there would be. I'd love to see what he'd do.
Jorge Jimenez on Spider-Man would be like a dream project, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be awesome.
The way that he does like action and dynamicism, and he would be perfect.
Yes, I think he'd be perfect for that crossover. For Marvel's side, get Gleason out of jail and have him do it.
Is he still work for Marvel?
I think so, because he still like posts stuff, but like he never does it. I remember they signed him to that exclusive. It was like, wow, Marvel's finally got a premier artist. They finally got an exclusive artist that's really good. And then they just never did anything with him, put him on like covers jail, and I don't know.
Yeah,
but
he just did a few issues of ASM, and that was it.
Yeah.
He was like a fill-in for Otley, I think.
Yeah, he'd be perfect for a Superman Spider-Man crossover.
Well, he'd be perfect for Captain America as the writer-artist on the book. But
he would be.
Everyone forgets that he's actually a good writer, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he co-wrote that Rebirth run with Tomasi.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Just to throw him on something. I don't know why they're like paying him to do nothing.
Sully, you're going to get 15 covers of this, aren't you?
Maybe.
And the blind bag?
No blind bag, no red band. Do
we need Superman, Spider-Man, red band?
That would
more blood, more guts?
No, because they're benign characters. That's not their tone.
Whoa. Did you just call Superman benign?
Yeah. I love him.
Superman is aspirational.
Yeah, yes, true. Yes. But I think Superman doesn't want to, to use his fists. He would rather, everyone get along. But that's not the case, especially in a superhero book where it's about action.
I hope he punches Spider-Man, and Spider-Man finally knows what it's like to be hit by a better man.
Ooh. But who would I choose as an artist? I would choose Jim Lee so he can have infinite delays.
So it'll come back in 2030?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny with the Skinbreaker book where it's like we gave Finch like 8 years to draw this. It's all good. There's gonna be no delays. Like, why didn't they do that for Hush too? Like, it's not like we have to do it now. It's now or never. Just wait until Jim Lee's done and then do it.
Jesse, you look like you're like the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, like in the second one when he's breaking down. What's up with the help?
This is my son's. It works perfectly good. Wait.
Say something. Do you say something? Do you sound like him?
Iron Man.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. Very cool. But I don't have
voice bits on yet.
Suit up. I love it.
So, Sully, I don't think this is going to be the end of the DC Marvel crossovers. They announced the first batch, said there will be another book in 2026, which is obviously what Superman and Spider-Man is. But if you read the latest announcement, it sounds like there's going to be even more of these happening, maybe once a year or maybe every so many months. So I'm expecting more crossovers after this.
I think Jeff Johns was right in Doomsday Clock. At the end of Doomsday Clock, he was like, "Yeah," and then two universes will be getting together about 2025 or so. And I'm like, "This is great." Yeah, I mean, it's for the 50th anniversary next year for Superman's Spider-Man. I would totally I'd want to see Superman versus Hulk. That would be cool because there was one of those too.
Yeah,
Ruffalo thinks that
couple of
Hulk could
those.
beat Superman, which was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
That is ridiculous, but also you want your Hulk actor to say that.
right. Yeah,
So I'll give him.
Don't you make
Ruffalo says a lot
excuses
of.
for stupidity,
He
sir?
says a lot of dumb
says
shit,
a lot
but
of
I
it.
will say you want your Hulk actor to say.
Do you
that.
want
That's one
David
thing I'll excuse.
Dalsmachian being like, you know what, Polka Dot Man? He'd give Superman a run for his money.
Well, no, because he's at DC and he's playing Polka Dot Man, so those are two very different things. But if you're at the competing company and you're playing who's supposed to be like the strongest guy, of course you're gonna be like, you beat everyone.
So if they do a third, which I think they will do a third, what's like your dream crossover, Dylan, that we haven't gotten?
Well, I always thought it'd be cool if we got to see Jonah Hex and Wolverine interact. I'd love to see that. I think that could be
They
really
ain't gonna
cool.
do that. They don't even make a Jonah Hex book anymore.
Hey, he's in Justice League right now. He's one of the time displaced guys. They show him in the background. He occasionally says a couple words, and that's it. But that you said dream, so you didn't say it has to be realistic.
Can I just share, because it's probably never happened anyway? I had an awesome pitch for Jonah Hex in modern Gotham called Jonah Hex Gotham City Bounty Hunter, where basically I was gonna do Dog the Bounty Hunter, but with Jonah Hex in Gotham, and I was gonna have him stealing like the freeze guns and like the equipment from various people, you know, riding around in his Confederate Army thing, but on a motorcycle with like some chick with fake boobs because he's just obsessed. He's like, they didn't have fake boobs back in the day.
I mean, we got sort of that in All-Star Western. He got in the New 52. He got taken to modern day. He fought Batwing for a minute in Gotham, and then he did get with like a chick with big tits that was like super progressive and lib. I remember there's a great thing because it was, you know, back during like 2012 or whatever, and they were taught there's like they ran across something with like gay marriage, fight for like gay rights, and Jonah was like, what? Why is this going on? She's like, what, you're against gay people getting married? He's like, no, but I don't know why anyone would fight for the right to get married. That shit sucks.
It's funny.
That was great.
I liked Jesse's pitch so much that when I did my Justice League Unlimited pitch, you know, in the animated universe, you know, the animated universe style, and I did it at DC. I actually put a backdoor kind of like pitch in there where Jonah Hex at the very end of my spec script, Jonah Hex comes into the present day, because I thought, man, if we do this and it's successful, we can spin off a couple of books. Like I wanted Tom Zoller to do like a Shazam book set in the animated universe, and I wanted Jesse to do do your Jonah Hex book, but in the animated universe. We can get it done here because they won't let you do it in the regular universe. So I really tried to get that in there.
Yeah, but in All-Star Western, he gets a couple of deagles and he rides a motorcycle.
There's an older one too. It's directly post Crisis on Infinite Earths where Jonah
Mad
Hex
Max
ends up in the far future. It was just called Hex, and that was a really interesting series. I was a kid when that came out, and that was really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's following up right after his first solo series. And you have Hex, and it's like 18 issues, and it's basically Jonah Hex meets Mad Max. It's pretty cool.
What about this one? This would be like a dream crossover for me. Nightwing and freaking and Daredevil.
That'd be cool.
I'm into
Just
it.
like fucking fighting ninjas for 35 pages.
Damn straight.
Be
That'd
freaking awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Doc, who's the X-Men crossover that you need? You got to do a big X-Men. That's the second biggest franchise at Marvel Comics. Who should they be crossing over with? Is Doc out? He's choking down a heater right now.
I think Doc's in flavor country right now.
Gosh darn it. Aaron, you're also an X-Men fan. What's the dream matchup? You know, they already did the Teen Titans.
Look, I mean, I want, and I've been trying to get Lepresti to draw this for me for a while. I just want a Nightwing Nightcrawler team up. Two of my favorite characters together. They both have night in their name. You know, come on, writes itself.
Nights
That's
out.
what I want to see. Yeah, yeah. You could just call it One Night Out or Boys Night Out. I'd be down. Like, it'd be great. I would love to write something like that. I love those two characters so much. I think that'd be a great team up.
Damian and Wolverine.
I could get behind that. I think that'd be a good backup. I wouldn't make it like the main crossover, but I could see that happening.
It'd be pretty good. There's like all kinds of stuff they could do. I still can't believe they did Deadpool in freaking Batman.
I'd like to see Punisher Batman.
Oh,
Again?
Yeah.
I mean, I like every single time they interact. I like that Batman disapproves.
Yeah, the Chuck Dixon one was absolutely fantastic, and the fact that we can now have some of these things reprinted, and since Marvel and DC are, since now Disney owns Predator, and Marvel and DC are like teaming up, I'm hoping that we can get like a nice omnibus of maybe the Batman Predator crossovers printed.
Someone said Punisher Red Hood, and I think that'd be amazing for Punisher being the worst influence on Red Hood. Like Red Hood's finally rehabilitated. He's like, I'm not using lethal force anymore. And then the coolest guy ever in a skull shirt shows up, and it's just like, all right, I'm
mowing motherfuckers down.
We're going
go
back
kill the
to just
Joker.
kill. Yeah, that would be
What
cool.
you do now, that would be super cool. And I mean, I don't know if you could have done it necessarily back in the day, but now it seems like it would kind of be a big deal. Darkseid and Thanos as a crossover. I think that could really be very cool.
Yeah, we
But
had
you
like
need the
a
entire
page of
DC
them
and Marvel
before,
universes
but
to fight them, or like the Avengers and Justice League. Right?
I would love to see Iron Fist and Richard Dragon. That could be really cool.
That'd be good.
Richard Dragon would fucking punish that dude.
I'd like to see Iron Fist. I'd like to see Iron Fist Lady Shiva even.
Iron Fist Cassandra Cain. Dylan,
Give me some-
she's
give me some more-
Iron
give me some
Fist
more-
dog walker.
I'm a big Cassandra Cain
Fighter.
fan. I love her. They
I
fucked her up.
hate Cassandra Cain. She's
They-
so
did
annoying.
Did you get to read her when she first came onto the scene with
Yes.
the Tucket and whatnot? I enjoyed the hell out of like his art and that book when she didn't speak, and David Kane and Shiva's daughter. I really liked her a lot. I thought that book was awesome. And then they kind of forgot all about her, and then she became kind of annoying.
She's very annoying.
Dylan,
hate that
set him
character.
straight. You let him know why Cassandra sucked from day one.
She's so annoying. Her first language was fighting. That's why she's so good at it. Now they're making her the best fighter in the DC universe. She's so annoying. The best thing that ever happened with her was getting one-shotted by Nightwing on the beach. That was great. Best thing Cassandra ever done.
But girl power, Dylan. We gotta have the girl boss. She's got to be able to solo everybody.
It sounds like you're a little jelly of the girl boss.
He's got a little.
I tap
misogynist
into
going
my
on, doesn't
inner
he?
Sully when we start talking about Cassandra Cain.
That's right.
I really liked her. Her book originally was with Kelly Puckett. What's the guy's name? He really amazing artist. The perspectives that he would draw, crazy. It'd be like kicking you in the face, and just these perspective shots would just be out of this world. I really enjoyed the hell out of that character. I hated her when she showed up in Birds of Prey because they didn't get any of it right. Like I like the idea that her first language was fighting. Like I think that's cute.
Say it, Dylan.
Oh, it's gay as hell.
Boom! I knew that was coming. Perfect. Mr. DC Comics has a good one here. Blade versus Deathstroke. Now that's a pretty cool one, but I think you have to have Deathstroke become a vampire for Blade to want to kill him.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Or maybe the Vampire Nation hires Deathstroke to kill Blade.
Now we're cooking.
that's the name of the artist who did Batgirl. Yes, Damian Scott. He was awesome.
He did some cool stuff.
I love Blade, but you just get no. It's like Jonah Hex. You get no good Blade anymore either. Except
Well,
Jonah
that
Hex
whole
movie
event
sucked,
for
and
him.
Blade had 2 great movies.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Everybody's
But also
afraid-
it's funny because Blade's movie is a lot different than his comics at the time, and Jonah Hex movie is a lot different than his comics, but Blade's is actually good.
Yeah, Blade actually improved. Like he
Yeah.
brought some good stuff to the table, and Jonah
Yeah.
Hex did not. Although good performance by Brolin.
Megan Fox's tits. It brought that.
They had a great cast. They had John Malkovich, Michael Fassbender, John Brolin. Like he had a great cast. Just
I took my friend Marie to see that, and halfway through the movie, she goes, "What exactly is this?" I was like, "I'm going to show you some comics when we go home, and you'll understand why I brought you here." What I thought this was going to be.
Let's hear for the peoples. Federico De La Costa says, "I fear the return of Bendis. He's done as a writer.
Yeah.
As somebody that leans more toward DC Comics, I feel like karmically speaking, Marvel is getting what they deserve. They should have to take him back.
yeah, agreed.
Yours.
Wasn't there?
He's an
Didn't
infiltrator. He destroyed Superman and all the great books that we have. You should have to take him back, and he can destroy the Ultimate Universe."
didn't Brevoort send a message to DC when they hired him away, saying something like, "Well, he's your problem now"?
That's the rumor. But Brevoort did try to hire him back to be the writer on X-Men before
Well, he tried to
settled on
hire
something.
everybody. I think even I got a missed call.
So
I told them they couldn't afford me.
You know who you can't afford, though? Gale.
Yeah, you can definitely afford Gale. But Bennett's is done for a writer. He's going to be bad, unfortunately. Jagrid 2. Did you guys see the design of Invincible Woman? They stole the Malice design for Sue from Marvel Rivals. So out of ideas, they stole from themselves.
Well, remember the characters. It's really their functions that matter, not their designs or the characters themselves, according to Brevoort. And yet they go and they take the Malice design from Rivals. Technically, they didn't really steal it because here's the thing: when you work for a company like Marvel or Disney or anything like that, anything that you create with their IP, they own. After the fact, even once your contract expires, they own all of it. They own all the designs. They own any story ideas you came up with. They own it all. So they're certainly free to take it. It is a great design. The Marvel Rivals designs are really, really good for almost all of them are amazing. So I understand why they'd want to pull them over, even though Tom Brevoort stated that, he didn't really see what the big deal was.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of like the Invincible Woman idea. And then when I saw what they were using visually to represent it, I was really confounded because it's a very specific storyline when she becomes Malice and whatnot. And the Invincible Woman thing was kind of interesting. But I did not like that they went with the Malice route. And somebody also mentioned in the comics, John Constantine versus Stephen Strange. Yeah. That I'd like that.
That'd be good. But you know what's going to happen is you'd have a modern writer, and it would be all about how John Constantine wants to bang Doctor Strange.
He's pretty hot. Makes sense. He's got the gray thing going on like me.
And John Constantine could say his mustache bristles tickle me in places no one ever sees.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
The Web Slinger, didn't Marlon Brando and Russell Crowe's Jor-El say that humans are great people? They only lack the light, and that Cal can also save them all?
Yeah, I remember it in Man of Steel. I even had him quote All-Star Superman, where he's like, they'll trip, they'll fall, but they'll follow you in the sun. They did that whole thing. But in Burns Superman, it's the opposite, where Jor-El is inspired by humanity because he's been scoping out where to send Kal-El, and he's inspired. He's like, wow, humanity has all these great things, and they actually, have personality and soul to them, unlike Krypton, which has become soulless. And so
I like Burns' interpretation best. Although I will say that it's like, and we've certainly shit on Zack Snyder on this channel quite a bit. But there are some really great things in Man of Steel. There's some great moments. There's some great Superman lore in there.
His Jor-El and Krypton are great.
Yeah, except for the weird penis ships.
That was interesting.
That was certainly a choice.
Also, ultimate humiliation to get sent to forever prison in a dick ship. That's how they do their crime.
That's right.
Where your mushrooms stay forever.
That's right.
Sigma Comics, HH and the boys, shout out to the Think Critical team as we prepare for New York Comic Con next week. Visit us in Small Press booth 2137. Support indie comics in the Think Critical family. And it will not just be H. Aaron, you're going to be there? Right?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there with Drew over at TCM Press. Our friend Vaughn Coleman's going to be there.
Joe Corallo?
Joe Corallo will be there. Irene will be at that show, with Fiendish. We've got...
AL will be there?
AL will be there hanging out. I assume like a lot of the Thinking Critical family will be there. I will have a special preview edition of Kneel Before Doomface with a New York exclusive cover, some preview pages from issue 2 in the back that we'll have, and then it's a flip book, so you get to check out the very first pages of The Vengeance of Vincent Spector, which I am working on with Brett Fossey and Renzo and Oscar. Also, the Doomface team is working on that for him. So we'll have a flip book with that. We'll have free stickers. Come on by and say hi, check us out, and looking forward to seeing everybody. Jesse, are you coming down? You're in New York right now. Are you coming down for the show?
I haven't made any plans to go. I'm like, there's a show next weekend. I suppose I should go.
Your friend Aaron is in town.
I know.
Yeah.
This means I should figure it out. Yes, I'm going to have to figure it out in the next week.
Let me talk to some people, see if we can't get you a pass to come on down.
Let's see if that can be arranged.
Very nice, and definitely visit HH and Sigma Comics. They're going to sell you some awesome Here Comes Calico stuff. And I'm just going to put this one out here for you, Aaron. If you want to get the Thinking Critical family together and treat them to Arby's, I'm willing to spring for the Big Montanas.
Whoa, I don't think they make those anymore, but that's quite an offer.
Original beef and cheddar then.
No, we're having dinner with HH on Sunday, so that'll be a blast. I don't know all of who he's invited. I don't know if he's giving me room to invite people, but obviously we love getting together with everybody who's ever been on the channel. Comics professionals that we love. Like I said, VK Marion will be there. Bon Coleman will be there.
Longbox has got to be there, right?
Who?
John's Longbox. He lives.
Oh yeah, John will be there. Yeah, I'll get to hang out with John. He'll have his beard. He'll have his beard back, so I'll recognize him. It won't be some weird beardless dude coming up and hugging me out of nowhere and me being like, who are you? What's happening?"
It looks like a gnome again, like he should.
That's right.
I like John a lot. John's a nice guy. It's funny though, the Twitter, the nonsense going on with him and Comicsgate, and I find all of comics drama to be so superfluous to my life now. It's really just I'm like, who still cares? What
dude? You need better like terms to mute in your Twitter profile, and it'll clean all that stuff up for you, and you could just ignore it all.
Really? Oh my God! I really do.
Muted terms. That's the way to get around all that stuff.
I don't have anything muted, but it means absolutely nothing to me. Like I don't expect me, like, it's like I tell people all the time, they're like, "I can't believe you're talking to this person." I'm like, don't expect me to hate who you hate. Like I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that in my heart. Even people that like I make fun of, like I don't have any hate for them. I just want them to be better. But if I will meet you with the same energy that you come at me or my friends with. And you want to have a conversation and patch things up, we can do that.
I just hate Mark Wade.
Yeah, well, I don't hate anybody, but definitely if you're going to be at New York Comic Con, sounds like there's going to be a lot of the Thinking Critical family there. Aaron, are you going to be on the channel, or are you just now telling me I need to book another guest?
No, I can't. I can't be here next week. You need to book another guest.
Son of a
biscuit.
Maybe Jim will be alive to.
Maybe Jim would be the perfect
or
person.
you. We haven't seen.
Although Jim gets Comic Con passes because he's a professional critic.
Yule hasn't been on in a while.
That's true. I should reach out to Yule and Tommy.
Yeah, Yule and Tommy would be great.
Chuck Skills. Bendis made me quit Superman. My favorite character, while my favorite artist Ivan Reis was drawing it.
Yep,
Dylan
for a lot of people.
So, what was the first sign of Bendis' Superman where you knew this wasn't going to go well?
The Man of Steel miniseries, which was the best thing he ever did.
Definitely.
The part where Superman fails to stop the threat, and then Kara comes in and sends him to the Phantom Zone, sends Ragal Azar to the Phantom Zone. That's where it's like in a miniseries, you're having Superman fail and you're having Kara come in and solve the issue. That doesn't bode well for what's going to happen later. That was the beginning of the end, and then it got worse and worse. Little did we know we were at the peak there.
So I thought it like the moment I remember was when they hinted that maybe Lois was cheating on Superman with Lex Luthor.
Oh,
with Lex Luthor. I don't remember them hinting that. I remember they had the whole thing where they had Superman get cucked. Well, they had Clark get cucked in public because they had, her and Clark were married, and then they made like a big display of her making out with Superman in front of a lot of people. And like it was a big, and then everyone at the day of the planet was like, "Oh, your wife was making out with Superman." It was like, that's an interesting thread to go through. I don't remember the whole Lex Luthor thing.
It's only implied, but it Superman realizes that they're meeting discreetly behind his back.
Oh yeah. That whole deal, yeah.
Did not like it. Dr. Touchdown. Bendis was the first time I disliked reading Moon Knight. Well, we turned into a Bendis bashing stream. Okay.
Bendis Bash 2025. Bendis Bash.
Does Justice League suck too?
$15 get you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Ha!
Doc, did you like Bendis' X-Men?
No. His between Gay Iceman, his weird obsession with trying to swap all the characters there with younger teen versions, bringing the teen version of X-Men to the present to teach Scott Summers a lesson. All of it was just so tedious. I mean, granted, you wouldn't have needed it if AVX hadn't been such a character assassination too.
But he did that.
Yeah, I know.
So you can blame that on him too.
I know.
It's all him.
But at the same time, you also
Meryl
wouldn't
quit reading comic books because of Civil War II.
And you get a Phoenix Force, and you get a Phoenix Force, and you get a Phoenix
and
Force.
AVX was the end of the X-Men. I mean, granted, I could go back even further. Schism was really the end of the X-Men, although they did do a handful of okay things after that.
Can we balance this by saying some nice things about Bendis? Everybody should.
Yes, you
I
defend
like
him. You
Powers.
tell us what you love. Let's talk about Powers.
I like Powers a lot.
His Daredevil was really good.
All of his independent books, like there are all these black books, Fire, Goldfish, Torso that he pulled.
Jinx.
Perhaps one of the best comics I've ever read in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Really good, black and white.
Yeah. When he was young and hungry, like he did some good stuff.
Yeah.
But Jesse, you and I,
25? Not quite the same.
You and I.
Go ahead.
You and I have talked, Jesse, about how the fact that like our biggest disappointment was Bendis, which was always like we feel like he comes with a big idea that we're like, oh, there's like a million interesting things you could do with that idea, and then he does none of them.
Or he does the least interesting of them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, fellas. We're not done yet.
Years. Like that's another thing. A good idea, and then like nothing. You're like one issue in, nothing has moved. 2 issues in, nothing has moved. You're at
We got
issue
more. We got more comments on this. Federico de la Casa. Once I liked Bendis on Avengers, but with time he bended the heroes too much to his will. Ultimatum and Civil War II were bad. Then he went to DC. Wasn't Ultimatum
was
Jeff
Loeb?
That was Loeb, and that
It
was
was.
alternate. Yeah, alternate universe.
Oh, that was Jeff Loeb. That's the where Blob eats Wasp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kill like
Twin
a lot.
Cest.
Yeah, they kill a shit ton of the.
Oh, the
Ultimate
twin
heroes.
cest. Oh god, that was like so prevalent in.
In fairness, Mark Miller had very, very much implied it during the Ultimates.
I can imply a lot of things, Doc, until I actually state it.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't gone there yet.
But it's the same as honestly, I took it the same way as I did Warren Ellis versus Mark Miller on The Authority, with implied Midnighter and Apollo without actually coming out, and then Mark Miller being like, "No, fuck it, they're definitely together."
So, Dylan, did you read Event Leviathan?
Yes, I know I read some of it. I don't know if I read all of it.
Because they had
I can't
Malieve,
remember.
and I know you love Malieve.
Yes. Yeah.
And to kind of expand upon what Jesse was talking about, if you read the prelude to Event Leviathan, the first issue for 20 pages recaps the prelude. The last 4 pages do something, and then the next issue recaps the story, and then the last 4 pages. So you ended up with like 14 pages of actual story in the entire series, because he apparently only had 1 issue worth of a story.
That's Bendis. Yeah, that was the Lois Lane story, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Manhunter is the big reveal.
Yes, that was so boring. Nothing interesting happened, and that was supposed to be Bendis's. Yeah, this is his big event, and it was terrible. Poor Malieve, what a
I
waste.
think there was a Leviathan Rising after that too, or something, right?
Yeah, he did another Leviathan thing. I didn't read that.
Oh, the Leviathan thing was kind of cool too, because so when Greg Rucka and Ed Brubaker had come over to DC, they did like a lot of work on some of these lower tier characters. The Sacha Bordeaux was one of them. Manhunter. There was a whole bunch of kind of like CIA type characters that had been built up, and he used a lot of those characters. And similarly to every single time he would use any creator's characters that I really liked, they would show up, but they would not be themselves. He would just kind of utilize them in whatever fashion he would like. And I was really disappointed in that Leviathan Rise, because he selected a whole handful of characters that I really liked, that other creators had done some work with, and really just did not do anything good with them. Like, it's almost like, oh great, somebody's bringing attention to all these characters I like, but not if they're bad job with them. Like it was kind of the total opposite effect. Like he had me, I'm like, yes, good choice. And then I went, oh man, you're like ruining it.
Man. There for a second, Doc, we had the 616 viewership.
All right.
Bam. That was pretty cool. Mr. DC
Now we're at
Comics
619.
619 Mysterio. Yeah, that's perfect. Spider-Man and Batman crossover makes more sense. Superman versus the X-Men would be interesting. Always wanted to see Superman versus Magneto. Talk to Charles. Spider-Man and Spider-Man is an aspirational character, and Batman is a little bit darker. I don't know that, like, obviously that would be a huge hit. People would love to read Spider-Man and Batman, but I think Spider-Man and Superman is a much more natural fit.
You do Spider-Man, Batman, and Wolverine, Superman. With Wolverine, see if the adamantium can cut through Kryptonian skin.
Yeah,
I think seeing Spider-Man interact with Nightwing would be cool. I'd like to see that if we're talking Bat family members. I think.
Yeah, but
Like
Nightwing's
Peter
like
and
the
Dick are very
aspirational
similar.
version of Batman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
why
Like
it
seeing
kinda
those
makes
two
more
would be
sense.
cool.
But certainly Spider-Man versus Batman, you're printing money at that point. Like
Yeah.
nobody's going to say no. They could put me on the book and it would sell.
Why not Aquaman Namor?
No, that one's too obvious. Aquaman. Somebody said earlier Aquaman Thor, and I think actually that one's kind of money.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, I'd
You
like that.
put Jeremy Adams on that.
Walt Simon on the Marvel side.
Well, it seems like a no-brainer too. Nobody's a good one-woman Thor mythology like that could
One
be
over
really
Thor. Yeah, Norse god
Namor,
versus meets Greek god.
Aquaman, or no, Namor and Animal Man.
That could be cool.
That's could be.
Why,
That could be
why does it have to be Namor? I'll take Animal Man with pretty much anybody from Marvel.
Animal Man, Squirrel Girl.
No, man versus Craven.
See,
Come on.
it takes a reverend to do it right.
Animal Man versus Craven is the only story worth telling.
Ooh.
That's a good one. Okay, yeah,
That's
I
a
like
good
that.
one.
How about bring back John Byrne and do Booster Gold She-Hulk?
Oh,
Well, then you
that's
can have Dan Jurgens on the DC side.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Cool. I
But
think the last time we saw Animal Man, he got defeated by deepfakes and Mark Wade's absolute power.
Deep fakes.
I
I always love it when writers take whatever their current like ridiculous real life bugaboo is and try and contort it into a superhero universe where it absolutely does not work.
Yeah, there was a deep fake that like had him doing something bad. So when he was in public with his daughter, like the public beat the shit out of him. They like throw a bunch of crap at him and he gets all bloodied up. Good old
very
Mark
nice.
Wade.
Would you like to see Superman talk to Magneto, Doc? It'd be tense.
Yeah, honestly, I don't. Do I really need just 10 pages of them philosophizing with each other? I really don't care.
That would be the Marvel side.
Yeah.
And get in the backups. So I don't know. I get the crossover. I mean, I wouldn't be against that at all. But I don't want to see like Superman versus X-Men. There's way too many X-Men. And there are X-Men that are more powerful than Superman, technically.
Well, even if you took like the '90s team, I mean, and then we're getting into the really kind of like nerdy conversations.
Oh yeah, we've been avoiding those the entire show.
Almost into those, those conversations about like could
mainstream.
could adamantium, pierce Kryptonian skin? How much of Superman's power could Rogue drain away? I think there's a lot
no
of
magic
fun
involved in
nerd-
adamantium, so no, it cannot pierce Kryptonian skin. That's ridiculous.
Ooh.
But it can cut
Now,
through
for the
anything.
Muramasa blade, perhaps.
Ooh.
Doc?
The Muramasa blade just ignores his healing factor. It just counteracts his healing factor. It's not that sharp. It's just
No, but I thought there was some magic involved from the fucking dude that crafted it.
yeah, but it's just magic to
Superman is vulnerable to magic, dude.
I understand that, but it's
sword.
magic. It's magic that's only directed at one recipient.
What about Ilyana's soul sword?
Soul Sword could definitely do it. And I mean, Psylocke's psychic knife could definitely cut him.
That's not even a real knife.
That's not a knife.
Oh, yes, Crocodile Dundee. Very
That's the
nice.
crossover we need.
Says Fantastic Four X or Superman crossover.
Only
the
if it's
first
Byrne,
family
baby.
versus the first superhero. That's not a bad idea. That would be
That's what you
great.
need, Byrne.
Fantastic Four and versus the Terrifics.
Claremont Byrne on that would be
Fantastic
fucking
Four going out into space and discovering Krypton before it gets destroyed, bringing Superman back with him. I don't know. You can have some fun with it.
raising him alongside Franklin.
Yes. Like they're mad at each other, wanting to play football, all rivals and stuff.
Yeah. And then Franklin becomes the Lex
Or you
Luthor.
could do adult Superman, where he discovers a planet's about to be destroyed, but he's not smart enough to fix it. The only people that he knows of are, in a multiverse, he flies through time, brings them over.
Oh, or the next generation, like the next phase of Galactus is eating planets in
in the DC universe.
In the DC universe, and so he has to go and get the Fantastic Four.
Exactly. This is one that I think Sully would love more than anybody. Absolute Wonder Woman and Magic, so they could have their big swords.
Ooh, the big sword out. Yeah. My money's on Magic. I got a big crush on Ileana Rasputin.
You didn't have a big crush on her this week in Ultimate Wolverine, I can tell you that.
I kind of like the art in that, dude. I like that.
Dylan, did you see her man face?
Yeah,
I saw her man face.
I thought it was.
She looked like she was transitioning, or she was on TRT or something.
Angry.
She didn't look great, but I did like the art style overall. I thought it was,
Yeah.
especially when we got into the action. But yeah, she did
exactly.
not her
That
best
close-up
day.
of her face was rough. I,
really
almost
liked
put it
it,
on
yeah.
Twitter.
See, this
And
is
I
the
remember Jesse's there, and I didn't want to upset him. But you know what? If you put out this kind of negativity to Jesse, it's going to make him cry.
But last week's Absolute Wonder Woman number 12, that was amazing. That book was
That was a
so
great book.
good.
That was a really good one.
It was.
All right, fellas. I think we should start talking about some comic book recommendations and all that good noise. But before then, we do need to once again say thank you very much to Side Hustle Comic Books, the sponsor of today's channel. Be on the lookout for Conquered #1 live right now on Kickstarter.
The lights went out. The power went down. And then they made their move. A hole in space as big as the world opened up. And nobody could save us from what came through.
Hey folks, Matt Miller here to talk to you about Conquered, our brand new series on Kickstarter. The basic idea, Independence Day meets Game of Thrones. The idea of a portal opening up in the middle of New York City and dragons, barbarians, all these hordes coming in like from a fantasy novel and wiping out America, just taking the country down, and they've got their eyes on the rest of the world. I'd say it's probably the best drawn book I've ever been involved with.
Hi, I'm Valerio Giangiordano and I want to tell you about the biggest project of my career. I've previously worked with Mark Millar on Nemesis Rogues Gallery and with Todd McFarlane on Spawn series, but this is my first huge creator-owned title, and I've been secretly working on this since the beginning of the year. Conquered is an enormous challenge as an artist. The entire world at war with a fantasy world. It's very difficult because I'm creating everything from the ground up. But it's so much fun to draw, and we have got the biggest visual here like you've never seen in a comic book before.
A really weird thing about Conquered is it's actually the very first proposal I ever sent into a comic book company. The artwork is a little bit better than my originals, Lee felt pens. When I was 13 years old, I sent it to Julie Swartz at DC Comics in New York. I got a nice letter back, a rejection letter, but here we are, 40 years later, and it's finally happening.
Conquered is an insane project and I can't wait to have it on my shelves. We are doing this over 4 volumes and the first is available now on Kickstarter.
Very good. You can go search Conquered on Kickstarter, or you can go and find the link in the video description. And we've been playing it throughout the entire stream. But that thing's going to be badass. I'm super
Indeed.
stoked.
I got an extra payday this month, so I know what I'm doing with one of those checks.
Yeah, you got to get that
Yes.
magazine size, dude.
I'm gonna get that magazine size one.
But let's talk about some comic books worth recommending. We've got Jesse Blaze Snyder, the man with the golden voice. Do you have any comic books that you want to recommend? They don't have to be new. They could be stuff that other people are working on or things that you read recently.
Yeah, I mean, I do most of my reading now from like the library, and so I'll just read graphic
What a
novels.
dork.
Yeah. But I really I'm only the first trade into this, but there's a really great book called Seven to Eternity. I think it's called.
Yes, Rick Remender.
Yeah, it's Rick Remender and Jerome Opeña. I think that's his name. It's excellent. It's a very serious and kind of like mysterious kind of Doctor Doom like character who comes into this world and basically starts kind of wheeling and dealing with everybody. Anybody that speaks to him, he will pull them into his side, and there's just like a few people straggling in this world who won't like coordinate with this guy, and it's basically about the outliers and this bad guy and his team going after them. And I mean, just the art is phenomenal, but the whole world of it is just really cool. And the Doctor Doom-esque character's got a really kind of neat look, and he's got one of his henchmen has like this flute that he plays. It's like this deadly flute. It's all unique and interesting in ways that I didn't expect it to be. I wasn't expecting much from it. There's even like a really cool character who makes portals, and he's like a giant Godzilla-like dragon kind of character. Just the designs for the characters in the book are really cool, from the bad guys and the good guys all around. And the story totally had me intrigued. So I think there's at least like 2 or 3 more trade paperbacks from the first one, which I think was like 7 issues. But highly recommend.
And you can get a gigantic deluxe edition that has all of it. It's oversized and it's awesome, and that is the way to go.
Yeah, I only just finished it, a couple weeks ago, and I'm still like been thinking about it. I really like it.
It's great.
Very nice. And you have a live Kickstarter right now as well, right?
Right now, if you type in Jesse Blaze Snyder on Kickstarter, you'll find Solfeggio, Healing Frequency music. It's all modern music, like stuff that you would hear on the radio. I don't know why we are tuning to 440 hertz. It's a weird frequency. 432 is really an exceptional one, and I'm trying to raise awareness about this whole thing. So if you're a music fan or an intellectual or spiritual person, and you have anybody in your life who you think would be interested in this, please share it with them, because this whole thing is about trying to forward this conversation about frequency and start thinking about music the way we should, as something that can be really deeply and meaningfully healing. So it's running for 20 more days. If you can go and back us up, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
And there's a link in the video description.
Yeah, and you're using it to generate comics.
Yeah.
So as many people have reached out to me and asked if Colonel Silverstreak is ever going to I do have an 8-page story featuring Colonel Silverstreak planned for this anthology that Jesse wants to do. So
Sugar and Bones magazine is going to be stacked with some awesome stuff. We got Digger Mesh and Steve Kurth. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You want to see the Kneel Before Doomface universe version of Cobra? That will be in the 8-pager.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. It was great having you on here talking some nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Dylan for the Real Comic Book Gamers got a video on Green Arrow that you need to check out right now. And I imagine you got some books you might want to pimp out that you read this week.
Yeah, there's some good books this week. JSA number 12, best issue yet. We actually get a big battle on this one. I liked it a lot. JSA number 12 is pretty good. Adventures of Superman Book of L number 2 was really good. Big step up from the first issue. Just League the Omega Act Special number 1 was pretty good. Williamson's got me hyped for KO. Ultimate Wolverine number 10 was good. I liked it. And Rook finally came back. Rook Exodus number 7 was good. And Baylock kills it as always. And then Rockefellers number 9 was also really good. One of the better issues of Rockefellers.
Well, very, very nice. I didn't get to read the Rockefellers yet, but I wanted to.
Yeah, it was good.
What do you think of Rook Exodus? I wished it was a little bit bigger, because it doesn't feel like a comeback issue, like they were gone for a year. But the art was spectacular, and the story is really, really great.
Yeah, it felt like it was very much setting up the next arc. Not a whole lot happens, and it feels very much like putting the pieces on the board and then setting up, like, here's where we're going to go from here. But I still liked it.
I'm kind of a fan of the Goat Warden, dude. She's pretty hot.
She is very hot. Well, Jason Fabok doesn't draw ugly women ever.
Jason Fabok is so good. I don't know how much I love that series. I only read like the first couple issues of the one, but it looks incredible.
Oh, I love that series, and it's not just his art. Like I'm digging it. It's my pick of the week.
Yeah. So there's only 6 issues, that happened last year, and now they picked up on issue 7, so you can get caught up on that one pretty easily.
And
So
it's worth it.
Sparrow, you say you're recommending Rook Exodus. What else is going on in your life? You got any big appearances? You going to be over on World Class or something?
I may be on World Class on Tuesday. I just haven't gotten the go ahead, because Jeff does a show sometimes he doesn't. But if he's doing it, I will be over there. Of course, I will be at New York Comic Con. We will have special editions of Kneel Before Doomface. It is our goal to have the Kneel Before Doom, because we're going to print now on the book. At last, we got enough of our backer kits back that we can estimate our print numbers, and we can get that off to print. So before I leave for New York, the goal is to send out the digital edition to everybody who ordered the book. So you will get the digital edition of Kneel Before Doomface #1. You'll get to read it, and hopefully some people will have read it before they come and talk to me in New York and tell me what they think. So if you have not backed physical copies yet, there is still a very, very small window for you to jump in. Please do. And we pulled together some really great stuff from like the archives for the memoirs from the Void edition. So it's nice little behind the scenes that you'll get. It's an add-on, so check that out if you haven't backed the campaign yet. But I appreciate everybody, and we're working hard to get it into your hands, because I can't wait to do issue 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and beyond. So that's
very nice. There's also a link in the video description if you want to be the last person to support Kneel Before Doomface, because you got almost no time left.
Almost no time.
And what books were you recommending? You said Rook Exodus?
Rook Exodus is my big one for the week. Yeah, it's the only one that I picked up that I actually took the time to sit down and read, and it was a car read. It was like I got in the car and I busted it open and I read through it. So it's got a good cliffhanger. I think that that the trade is out now, so grab the trade if you haven't picked up the issues. Read issue 7 and get on board, because Ghost Machine is doing great stuff and they need your help.
You know what the worst kind of comic book, Aaron? Where you're not expecting much, so you decide you're going to start opening it up while you're on the toilet, but it ends up being good and your legs go numb by the time you're done reading it because you can't stop.
That's how you get hemorrhoids, Wes. Don't do that.
I didn't do that, but my legs are numb. I couldn't walk. This fucking comic was great.
Staggering out of the bathroom.
I need a minute, honey.
Wait, what comic did that to you?
Listen, I don't want to talk about details. You'll just the K-pop Demon Hunters thing all over again. My goodness. Sully, you recommended any books this week?
Yes, kind of. Well, I bought a bunch of them. And speaking of independent comic book drama, I guess I'm contributing to it by getting this. It's a Dale Keown cover. I'll open that up tomorrow. I got 6 funny books this week from my local comic book shop, and I go there every Wednesday to pick up my pull list. And I got last week's Spider-Man Wolverine #5 by Mark Guggenheim, but with art by Kari Andrews. I forgot all about it, and it's a really mediocre story, but it's elevated by Kari Andrews' amazing art. So if you just like great art, great Spidey, great Wolverine, and fight scenes, this is your book. I picked this up. It's Cold Slither by Tim Seeley and Company on Image Skybound, and it's a one-shot about the reunion of the Cobra Band. So it kind of takes place. It does take place in the Energon universe. So I'm wondering if the history that's laid down in here is the setup for it. So but it's not a really good issue. It's not a good
Tim
story.
Seeley.
He did really good last week with He-Man and the Sword of Flaws. I thought that was really good. But so Seeley is
and
very
he loved the flip book that
I love Local Man. I mean, so Seeley's got some. I think he's really hit or miss, but when he's hitting, man. I got Mark. Speaking of Mark Miller, I've got Huck 2 issue 5, pretty good book. I'm glad to be tuned into him. I got Rook Exodus #7. It has been a year. Wow. And but still, it's worth it because the art is so good. If you needed a little extra time, maybe this is the shape of things to come. We have to wait a little longer. I know Sacrificer 16 is coming out this week. The last issue we got was way back in May, and I've been waiting for that too. So
Yeah.
You know, I hopefully it's not going to get killed by the hiatus. I got Philip Kennedy Johnson's House of L, The Adventures of Superman here, issue 2. Really, really good stuff. But my pick of the week is the prelude to DC's KO, Justice League, the Omega Act Special. This is more of an issue 0. I would have called this, if I was in charge, this would have been DC KO issue number 0. And it's extra thick, and it's got a lot of expository stuff. I think a new reader can jump right on and get really primed for DCKO. I'm looking forward to it because Superman 30 was good. Even Mark Waid's Justice League Unlimited number 11 was good. And this is good too. And it's all of these plot threads that are leading up to DCKO. And now I'm really fired up for it. I love a good DC event. And I'm looking forward to, having some fun with this. And thank you so much to everyone in the chat. We had such a geeky day. All of those great suggestions for DC Marvel crossovers. This is really awesome comic book shop style conversation, and I'm knee deep in it and here for it. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, bunch of nerds today.
Thank you,
Doc. You recommend anything, dude?
I'm going to actually. You know what? I'm going to recommend you guys check out our review coming on Monday, I believe, for Age of Revelation Overture. Surprisingly did not hate it. It was a relatively not bad book for an event that I have zero interest in. So we will start. Wes, this is for you.
Beautiful. Murder World. I love it. That's my favorite, dude.
Yep. Early arcade. What is this issue? 123. Yeah. So early arcade, X-Men and Murder World. I mean, come on. It's exactly what you expect. Then we will go with New Mutants 87, but mine's slabbed. I have like 3 of this book slabbed because I kept trying to get a 9.8 and I kept failing. So I got like 2 9.6s and an 8.5 to this day. I can't figure out why it's 8.5. And the grader's notes were not helpful at all. And then we will go with Amazing Spider-Man 375. I love these old gimmick, hologram covers. Yeah, you got that cool gold hologram in the background. I love it. And I mean, it's Bagley Spider-Man, so it's not bad. Then I know this is a couple of weeks old, but I actually just bought it. Didn't just buy it. Just had a chance to actually finally read it. It's the conclusion to the whole Baroness and CoverGirl, I guess, 48-hour leave. Well, they had 48 hours of leave.
Yeah.
And it's Baron or Major Blood again, coming right back after Baroness, and
it does not go well.
It does not go well. And you actually see, like, I think it makes it sadder to where Baroness will end up in the end, because there's no way she doesn't eventually go back,
correct,
and become the Baroness, and with Destro and Cobra and all that crazy shit. But like, she's forming friendships and like actually like deep friendships that are going to get torn asunder.
Yes,
when that happens down the line.
Indeed.
So it makes it so good, but it's setting up for such horrible, ending. Then finally, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. I think this is a couple weeks old too, but
damn good.
I really enjoy this fucking book. Like, I read 2 issues of it while we were sitting here doing the show today. So yeah, this is issue 320. Um, if you're reading the other GI Joe book, you will absolutely love this one still too. So those are my recommendations for this week.
Very nice. And if you're into the Baroness, the 616 Comics has an exclusive Michael Eag cover right now that will blow your minds away. There's also, you can get the 10% discount using Thinking Critical, all caps, on their app or their website to get that cover. There's, I think there's 3 different versions of it, but she looks absolutely amazing. So I would definitely recommend that. I want to say thank you very much to everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. And the Chiefs are about to go 3-2. It's going to be amazing.